Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, no, no. Michael Saylor. Let's go, dude. Michael Saylor and Grant Cardone. What? The two of my favorite grifters of all time. Give me just a few moments. We're going to get a couple things up here real quick. Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor. Can you give it to me now? Michael Saylor. Give it to me hard. Michael Saylor. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, you guys, so we're going to react to Grant Cardone and Michael Saylor. I actually started watching like 3 minutes of this, and I was like, dude, I like Grant Cardone, but my God, some parts of him are very grifty. But Michael Saylor is the grifter of all grifters, and I am here to react to Michael Saylor. We're going to react to Michael Saylor speaking with Grant Cardone. I don't know if we're going to do the whole interview or not. We're going to see how far we can get. But this is going to be exciting. As you know, I am constantly dissing Michael Saylor because he is a grifter for Bitcoin. I do also diss Daddy Trump because he's also a crypto head. I just think that crypto is so stupid. It's not intrinsic. It has no intrinsic value. It's utterly worthless. And I just, it blows my mind. In just a second, though, we're going to get the video set up. I'm probably just going to show it in Firefox because Firefox is amazing. Get YouTube up and ready. You guys Michael Saylor fans up in here? Oh, what? Hold on. Hold on, boys. We'll just get it up and running on here. Yeah. We're not doing. We're watching Grant Cardone and Michael Saylor. We're gonna react to this. It's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be an interesting reaction video. Michael Saylor. I think we all love Michael Saylor at the end of the day. Look, he's a grifter. Like, it's just anybody who promotes Bitcoin this way and thinks it's like the most revolutionary thing in the world. Look, he turned his entire company into a Bitcoin treasury. The dude, I think he's arrogant more than intelligent, is my analysis of Michael Saylor. He thinks he's so brilliant. He is one of those guys that will give you the air that he understands everything that's going on. He acts like if you don't get in now, you're going to be broke forever. Honestly, I made a ton of fucking money betting against Bitcoin because what is Bitcoin? It's ClickCoin. I use the SBIT simple levers ETF to bet against Bitcoin because what does Bitcoin do? Nothing. It has no intrinsic value. Also, the transaction times are slow. All you own is a little string of data. That's all you're owning, strings of data. Not backed by anything either. Not backed by gold, not backed by silver. It's not real money. In fact, it might be the fakest money of all time. Just saying. So we're going to watch my boy Michael Saylor and Grant Cardone. All right. Give me a second here. Michael Saylor, Grant Cardone. I still can't believe these two decided to mesh up, dude. So we're going to watch from the beginning here.
Hey, traders.
God, I can't stand these ads for like, hey, you want to see my course, bro, on how to trade effectively, bro? So the interview kind of starts out right around here. We'll analyze it. I only watched probably 5 minutes of it. But yeah, no, Michael Saylor is just garbage. I don't know. So I'm not gonna interview Cuban Crisis because all he wants to talk about is queefs. All right? No. We're not talking about queefs. No. Hail to the no, my brony brother. Having said that, though, on with the show. Michael Saylor. Here we go, dude. Michael Saylor in the flesh. We're going to react to Grant Cardone speaking with Michael Saylor, and it's probably going to be just as bad as we all think it is. Look, we all know that. Look, I like Grant. I think he's all right. I do believe he himself, though, is a bit of a grifter. But I think Michael Saylor is the king of the grifters, and I really believe this with all my heart. Daddy Michael Saylor, dude, just straight up, he's just his love of Bitcoin is what's really disturbing to me. And give me a second, though. I need to see where this is at on the screen. Give me a few more seconds, folks. You know, this is kind of what the Michael Garza Show lives for, though, are these cringy interviews where Grant Cardone and Michael Saylor start, getting kind of hot with each other. Give me a second, though. I gotta reconfigure something real quick. Why won't it let me watch it? What the hell? Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, we'll say this, though, just as a thing. I'm glad that the Epstein files are going to be released. This is very exciting. We've all been waiting for this at the end of the day, and I know I have been. Did you avoid the Taco Bell rice combo this evening? I sure did, dude. I sure did. Oh, man. But yeah, welcome to the show, everybody. I want to say thank you to everybody who's... Oh, my God. All right, so we're going to be talking about Grant Cardone. We're going to be reacting to a video. And yes, I have my brows on. As you can see, fuck you with my heels on. All right, here we go. Let's listen to a little Grant the Grifter Cardone. But before we do, I got to do one more reconfiguration to this. Because, sometimes technology, it is very sexy. But at the same time, it can be a little interesting. I love YouTube. It's so cute. But don't worry, we're going to listen to a little bit of Michael Saylor. Michael Sexy Saylor, our homie. One of the people that this channel idolizes and wants to, we want to... Anyway, we're going to critique. I'm going to be roasting Grant Cardone and Michael Saylor. Now, are they far more successful than me? Yes, they are. Thank you, Mr. Donaldson, for the support plus channel perks. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you, my brony brother. I appreciate that, man. All right. Yeah, no, B Chipper, I'm not buying Bitcoin. And I mean, look, I'll bet against Bitcoin for sure, and I'll keep profiting off the downturn of Bitcoin without a doubt. Michael Donaldson says, I forgot to renew my membership. Oh, it's okay. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for even being a member, man. I appreciate it, man. All right, you guys. Let's ride. You guys ready for this Michael Saylor?
Inspired by everything you're doing today, Friday. What's the date today, guys? You probably know the date, huh? we got Bitcoin down to 94.5. What's your
buying opportunity?
It is.
Buy the dip.
Yeah. What?
Look at that fake fucking smile, dude. Buy the dip. Buy the dip. Ah, oh, what a tool. Look at that face. Oh, God, that's so hot. God. Michael Saylor's looking pretty hot tonight. Oh, damn. He's maybe a grifter, but he's a fine piece of meat. God, what a cutie. No, just kidding. No, Michael Saylor, though, the greatest grifter of all time, in my opinion. Look, I thought Jeremy Lefebvre was bad. This guy might be at least Jeremy Lefebvre tries to convince people to buy companies. This guy right here is trying to convince you to buy Bitcoin, my Clitcoin. I can't see the mouse cursor, by the way. Hold on. Jeremy Lefebvre, by the way, not you, Jeremy. I'm talking about Jeremy Lefebvre from Financial Education. I do not love Bitcoin. Need some time alone, Garza. Look, I'm fawning over the Michael Saylor, the greatest of all time. All right, can you guys blame me here? Can you guys blame me for loving Michael Saylor? I'm sorry, dude. Michael Saylor is a grifter, though. Look, I'll admit, Grant Cardone is a bit of a grifter himself, without a doubt. I cannot disagree with that anymore. I mean, I can't disagree with that at all. Because, look, Grant's given... I will say, Michael Saylor and Grant Cardone do have bits of wisdom to themselves. But at the same time, it's like, part of me is just like, ugh. Michael Saylor just is promoting Bitcoin too much. He acts like Bitcoin's the most revolutionary idea. It's called private money. This stuff has been tried time and time again. The problem is guys like Michael Saylor prefer their arrogance over reading history, right? And he thinks that this time it's different. This time it's different, you guys. Ooh. I made more money betting against Bitcoin than I did actually owning it. By the way, I have had Bitcoin for a while. I'm not going to tell you how much I have, but I've had it for a while. I still haven't sold it, by the way. Never sold it. And do you want to know why? You want to know why? Because I bet against it. I'm able to make money off of its downfall because I know eventually anything with an intrinsic value of 0 eventually goes to 0. Duh. Yeah, gold, silver, and real estate are the real deal. Bitcoin and all cryptocurrencies are garbage. Hot flipping garbage. And now we're going to critique Michael Saylor, but the arrogant smile, I think, of like, buy the dip. Buy the dip. I'm a grifter. Buy the dip. He wants you to buy the dip so that way it'll actually go back up because he wants retail investors to be less scared. But yeah, look at that face. See that face? Look at that face. That's the face of a hunk. I've had the mouse cursor back up. Oh, yeah. Look at those eyes. See those eyes? Oh, what a beast. Oh, what a man. Gotta get it while you can. Let's keep on watching.
Did you buy some this morning?
I am. I'm buying.
We
have bought Bitcoin every day this week.
Dude, he just sounds so uncomfortable. Michael Saylor does. We've been buying... Honestly, I think Michael Saylor is just a glorified gambler. He's a gambler who acts like he's not a gambler. That's what I've come to the conclusion. He has all the mannerisms, by the way. I've met a lot of people who are addicted to gambling. He has all the same fucking mannerisms as a gambling addict. I think this is just my analysis. I don't know if I'm right or not, but I can read some body language pretty well. I'm not perfect at it. I can't always read a room, for example, but if I look at an individual one-on-one analysis, I don't know. Something seems a little off.
Every day.
Every day this week, and we normally report our Bitcoin purchases on Monday morning. So on Monday morning we'll put out the announcement. But
Is it a lot?
yeah.
So Mike, when you're a public company, can you not say that day? Or are you restricted and you have to say it on Monday? Or could you tell me today?
No, I have to tell you on Monday.
Okay.
We do it every Monday.
I have to tell you on Monday how much Bitcoin I've been buying on the dip, because obviously he's a publicly traded company. Strategy does all the Bitcoin buying through his Bitcoin treasury company called Strategy. By the way, they used to be a software company. I think they're still technically a software company, but he decided, hey, you guys, instead of developing software, which, by the way, I think MicroStrategy has been kind of on the downfall for a long time. I think the only thing that saved MicroStrategy is the promotion and the grifting of Bitcoin. Michael Donaldson says, I read people by their eyebrows. Guess what your eyebrows tell me, Garza? That I'm a Smurf? I'm a Smurf, I know. Does Michael Saylor have sweet frosting eyebrows like I do? No. Should he? Probably. He's already a clown for promoting Bitcoin. He should be wearing frosting on his eyebrows.
That's our cadence before the market opens, and we follow an 8K. And in the 8K, we'll tell everybody exactly what we bought, what we paid, and how we funded it.
Yeah.
You know? So we like to be precise about those things.
You funded it with shareholder money, by the way, Michael Saylor.
Yeah, and so look, I met you back in January. I think my brother brought me over to your house, and I didn't really know about the Bitcoin thing. I'd been studying. I got some 13 years ago, and I dabbled a little bit. And I asked you about mixing this with real estate, and you've given me some great advice. You've been a little sharp with me every once in a while because I think you get tired of dumb questions, right?
First off, I don't know how Michael Saylor could get tired of dumb questions when he believes in a dumb product. You know what I mean? When you believe in something as dumb as Bitcoin, how can you have any trouble with... First off, I think any question about Bitcoin is stupid. I'm just kidding. But no, here's the thing. So what I'm trying to say is this. Bitcoin is a dumb product, and it's a shame that Michael Saylor can't be more compassionate to people, because he himself believes in something that is so ludicrous and idiotic. Look, Bitcoin is not real money. It's never going to be. Never should be. And if it is, by the way, we're living in clown world. We're living in clown world if Bitcoin becomes like a predominant currency. Seriously. Clown world. Big time. Big time. Let's keep watching.
Does that happen? Do you get frustrated with people that are new to the space and they're asking you questions? You're like, don't you get this?
You get, it depends upon the time of the day. If you've been talking for 12 hours, then you can get a little bit tired by the 13th hour. So you catch me in the morning.
Yeah, is the morning's the better time? Because the last time I was with you, last two times I was with you, one, you called the fund that I was doing a pussy fund.
I just suggested you should put more Bitcoin in it.
And I do it. And we went from 85 to 15 to now we're like 1/3 debt, 1/3 real estate, 1/3 Bitcoin.
Really?
What? Oh, dude, what? Grant. Even Michael Saylor needs to side of that. First off, Michael Saylor is like, why didn't you... See, Michael Saylor and I are having the same reaction, but not because of this. We don't want the same outcome for Grant on this one. Michael Saylor's wondering, why don't you have 2/3 of your portfolio as Bitcoin? Whereas I'm thinking, why would you even why is 1/3 of your portfolio Bitcoin at all? If you want to be exposed to Bitcoin, that's fine. But that's 33%. By the way, think about this. 1/3 of your portfolio is 33.3%. Or 33.33, whatever. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is this. Holy frickin' crap. You basically put your third of your portfolio is a Ponzi scheme, by the way. A fucking Ponzi scheme. Now, Michael Saylor's sitting there like wondering, why didn't you just make 2/3 of your portfolio Bitcoin, or maybe why not all of it? See, Michael Saylor's so fucking deluded that he thinks that Grant should have 100%. 100% Bitcoin. Ooh. Ooh. Oh man, I'm sorry if I'm not responding to the comments at the moment. I'm really just trying to focus on the Michael Saylor Grant Cardone interaction here. This is priceless, man. This is some priceless television we're watching here.
Do you think that's aggressive?
I think the point that I'm making is.
Oh, by the way, I didn't really finish my thought. If you want to be exposed to Bitcoin, I would say the maximum amount of weighting that Bitcoin should take up in your portfolio should probably be 5%. And I even think that's too much. But if you want to be with the modern age and you really think that Bitcoin's going to go to $1 million per coin, okay. Look at Michael Saylor. He's staring at you. Dude, he's staring fucking hard. That might be by the way, we accidentally paused on the ultimate stare down. The ultimate Michael Saylor stare down. That is the look of a man on a mission. Michael frickin' Saylor. Let's go.
You search the entire world for a good idea, and there aren't that many good ideas.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. There aren't that many good ideas, and Bitcoin's not one of them. If you think Bitcoin is one of the good ideas, man, you are flawed as shit. Let's see. Jeremy says, imagine saying a third of your portfolio is in fart. Exactly. Any sort of crypto. I'm looking at you like you're an idiot. Like if you are 33% of your portfolio is crypto, Bitcoin especially, you are basically, that would be like me putting a third of my portfolio down on red at the roulette table. Could it land? Sure. Should I do it? No. It's a chance. You're flipping a coin. Even worse, it's like 47.5% odds that it's going to hit because there's the 000. But thank you for Jeremy, thank you for the happy poop, yum yum, happy poop, yum yum, happy poop, happy poop, happy poop, yum yum, happy poop, yum yum, happy poop, yum yum, happy poop, yum yum. Thank you for the happy poop gift, Jeremy. Garza's wood watching his man crush. Dude, is Michael Saylor my man crush, everybody? What do you guys think? Do you think that Michael Donaldson thinks that I'm in love with Michael Saylor? Probably. Should I be in love with Michael Saylor? No. Let's watch Michael Saylor.
Apple was a good idea 20 years ago.
Yeah, Apple was a great idea. Look, I don't own any Apple products, but I've used Apple products and they're solid. They're great. They're innovative. Apple's also been really good at marketing over the years. They're good at attracting a certain niche market for sure. But if you're trying to make any sort of mental association between Bitcoin and in a successful company like Apple, you're a sick man. Because Bitcoin is, what again? What do we say? Click coins, gambling money. It's used by creeps like this guy.
Amazon was a good idea, and Bitcoin.
Absolutely. Amazon's a good idea. Apple's a good idea. Bitcoin is not a good idea. Don't compare them. It's like when people compare Bitcoin to gold. I want to throw up in my mouth. I want to throw up in my effing mouth, all right? Oh, Mr. Donaldson says yes. Jeremy sent a floating heart. Oh, floating heart. Yum, yum. Thank you for the floating heart. Yum, yum. Thank you for that floating heart, Jeremy. Appreciate you, Brony. Woo. And he comboed the floating heart. Thank you, my Brony brother. Hell yeah. Happy poop. Yum, yum. Happy poop. Happy poop. Happy poop. Yum, yum. Happy poop. Happy poop. Happy poop. Yum, yum. Give me 1 second, folks. I got to fix something real quick. Kitty Gamer, thank you for the happy poop. Yum, yum. Happy poop, happy poop, happy poop. Yum, yum. I also do have to do something real quick. I realized. Give me a second, you guys. I'm a dummy. But thank you, Kitty Gamer. I appreciate I really do appreciate that. The happy poop, yum yum, and thank you, Jeremy, for the floating heart and the incredible. I appreciate these virtual gifts, you guys. You like my sugar zaddies, is what I like to call you guys. My sugar zaddies. Zaddy, what up? Yes. There's a couple things I gotta fix on here. I feel like a little bit of a dummy because I forgot to fix them. Just a couple call to action things I have to fix. And once I fix these, we'll get back to reacting to Mr. Michael Saylor, the greatest of all time. Is Michael Saylor the GOAT? That is the question. And I'm forced to answer yes. Yes, Queen. Yes. Okay, we're almost there, you guys. Sorry about that. Happy poop, happy poop, happy poop, yum yum. Yeah, let's get some likes on the stream. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, if you guys can, just hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow in more ways than one, so we try our best to do our thing. And thank you for the compliments on the eyebrows. Hey, Garzi was wondering, do you think it's better to be born a hardcore Real Garza fan or to become one later in life by choice? Look, I don't know if anybody's born liking me, but I do believe that I'm an acquired taste from time to time. You know, sometimes people get to know what I'm doing. They're like, okay, this guy's kind of sav, or this guy's an idiot, or this guy's completely psycho. Usually I'd like to assume the latter. People might think I'm a little bit of a psychopath because of the type of show that I do, the kind of operation I run, that sort of thing. So we do what we do. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to watch a little more Michael Saylor and Grant Cardone. I'm kind of hoping that they kiss. Like, I only watched like 5 minutes of the beginning of this. I think that there's a lot, I'm feeling a lot of sexual tension between the two, if I'm going to be honest. And I'm kind of hoping that they both kiss each other. I don't know, man. I think Michael Saylor is overhyping. He's overhyping the heck out of Bitcoin, Jeremy. That's what I think. And I really do think it's garbage. You know? There's no intrinsic value. There's nothing backing it that matters. It's not like you can really measure its intrinsic value because it's not really useful in real life. It's strings of data. And it's strings of data that technically exist upon a public ledger that's decentralized. Sure, that's cool, but that's about all it is. There's a lot of things that are cool in this world, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the cool thing has intrinsic value. And I think that's the problem with Michael Saylor. The problem with Bitcoin is it relies on perceived value, and that's it. It relies on the market to pump it up, right? So you buying Bitcoin at a lower price doesn't mean that you're getting it at a discount. You're just buying it at a lower price. It's eventually going to go to zero, is what I'm trying to say, because it has an intrinsic value of zero. Anyway, I can go on and on about that, but let's keep watching.
It's a good idea. And a good idea is something that could tend to 100x its money. So if you think about all of the things you discovered in the last 30 years that could increase by a factor of 10x or 100x, maybe 10x, and by the way, Bitcoin is 10x in the 5 years since I got in the business. But you know, think about all that, and then ask yourself the question: should you put 2% of your money into a good idea? Are you going to have Are you going to have 49 other?
You're assuming that Bitcoin's a good idea. It's not a good idea, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. Just because the price of Bitcoin has gone up since its inception does not mean it's a good idea. It means that you've brainwashed enough people to think that something that is valueless is valuable. That's it. Not everything that goes up in the market is up because of a good reason. For instance, I love NVIDIA, but its stock price has been so pumped up past its actual book value. Now, is NVIDIA a valuable company? Yeah, sure, absolutely. I could measure its value. I could tell how overvalued it is. I can't measure the root value, the intrinsic value. I can't figure out why. And it's not because I'm stupid. It's that it doesn't have, I think stupid people, here's the thing. Smart people can believe stupid ideas. The proof is in the pudding. Michael Saylor, by all conventions, is an intelligent man. But even intelligent people can convince themselves that even the stupidest of ideas is a good idea. That's the rub. And this is what we're witnessing right here, right now. By the way, let's keep going. Let's keep watching our boy, Michael Saylor.
Equally good ideas. Okay, you can put 10% of your money. If you put 10% of your money into an idea that, 10x is you double your money. But of course, is everything else, does that mean that you're going to put 90% of your money into a not good idea? So my issue there is, if I think about my history as an investor, my number one regret is if you found a good idea, you wish you had bought more.
Right, that's right, always.
And you wish you'd never sold. Mm-hmm. So,
by the way, this is why you save your assets, not your money, right? So you don't need to sell when something grows bigger. This is one of the reasons why, I say just hold on to it for as long as you can. The problem is, here's the thing, the assets are more valuable, especially if the assets can pay you something to hold them for a long period of time. That's why I love dividends so much. Because with a dividend, I don't actually have to sell the company itself to realize any sort of profit. Now, obviously, there's stock buybacks, things like that. Things happen. But, it's just... Ugh. The arrogance of Michael Saylor, though, cannot be understated. I want to, as a heads up, everybody. The arrogance of this man cannot be understated. Give me 1 second, folks. I realized I had to make a quick credit card payment. Yeah, I do enjoy making my payments. I use credit cards for the cashback rewards primarily. I don't like holding balances on credit cards, though, just as a fun fact. I think it's stupid. Unless the credit card gives you, for instance, I got the U.S. Bank Shield card, which gives you, 2 years for 0% interest. I was like, oh, that sounds good to me. So for certain business expenses, I'll use that card because I can make the minimum balance payment and stuff like that. It's kind of handy, actually. You know what? While I'm here, can't believe I'm doing this on live. Okay, I think I've pretty much caught up on every payment that needs to be made. I'll check my credit cards later. 0% credit card churning. What does that mean?
If I can spirit you back 20 years and give you the chance to buy Apple or Amazon or Bitcoin.
Which I didn't buy any of those.
Are you going to give advice to someone they should put 2 or 3 or 5% of their portfolio in? It's I think if you're going to do it, you should put in an amount of money that changes your life.
Yeah.
So, look, if you're diversifying and you find a brilliant idea, maybe you put 5 to 10% of your wealth in it because you want to.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Michael Saylor. You're implying, unfortunately, that Bitcoin's a brilliant idea. You're implying that it's just going to keep going up forever. The problem is, though, Michael, is it's all based on perception, Mr. Michael Saylor. Do you see what I'm saying? It's all based on perceptual value. You can't measure Bitcoin's greatness because it isn't great. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Jay is asking, what would you do for a $100 donation? I don't know. Put mustard on my head? I'd pour some mustard on my head for sure. Jay, if you were to give me $100 right now, I would be more than happy to put mustard on my head. $100 super chat, I'm down. For sure. Not even a second thought, by the way. I meant $100, not a 100, dude. No, Jay, you frickin' troll. I appreciate the gift, though. It equivalates to about 1 penny for those 100s, by the way. I appreciate it either way. I appreciate it, Jay, but no. I meant $100 frickin' dollars, dude. Hoof-hearted, dude. Thank you for the one hundo. Make sure you guys subscribe to Hoof_hearted. And make sure you guys subscribe to Jay as well. Appreciate you guys for giving me those 100 gifts. That's not $100. We're talking about $100. If I got $100 super chat, that's a different story, right? Unlocking Paradoxes sent in GLF. Thank you. Thank you, my Bruni brother. Hell yeah. Jeremy says Grant's a scumbag. He's kind of Grant is scummy for sure. He's got grifter blood too. It's really a talking of two grifters between each other, and of course the meatheads. And I like Grant for the most part. For the most part, I do like Grant Cardone. I think he's got some. He did teach me some interesting principles and some interesting habits that I've found very helpful in my life. However, getting back to mother frickin' Michael Saylor. Let's go.
Stay diversified. But, Jeff Bezos didn't get rich by having 5% of his assets in Amazon and selling 95% of his Amazon stock as soon as he could. Right? So Steve Jobs,
I think he had
Larry Ellison, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Bernard Arnault, they don't get rich by selling 95% of their good ideas and keeping the last 5%, or by selling 90%. So I just think when you find, if you're pitching someone a digital real estate fund,
yeah,
and if real estate's going to go up 7% a year and Bitcoin's going to go up 30% a year, then you don't want it to be 10% Bitcoin and 90% real estate. It's just a little bit better than everything else in the world. Why not put it half and half?
Yeah.
And then why don't you deliver 20% gains a year when the entire rest of the real estate industry gives you 7%? Because if it's a bad idea, it ought to be 0 and 100% real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Bitcoin is a bad idea, and it should be at 0% of your portfolio by all technicality. I think that you're taking a chance. You're taking a gamble with Bitcoin. There's no real proof. There's no real proof at all, by the way, that Bitcoin is a good idea. In fact, if anything, the more I've learned about it, the more I realize it's a really cool software idea, but in practice, in principle of reality, it's a terrible economic idea. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. All right? I'm pissed. I'm pissed. Hold on. All right, here we go. We're back. Ready to attack.
Yeah.
And if it's a good idea, then you might as well go 50-50,
Right.
because that way you're giving someone juiced real estate 3 times as good as every other real estate investment
Dude.
in the world. I think
I'm not pissing in the sink, dude. How was I pissed? I was washing my hands in the sink. They're clean. Because I needed to get my frosting on. If I was going to watch this clownery, I had to get my frosting on my forehead and I had to wash my hands. Simple as that. Anyway, let's keep watching.
you're if it doesn't work and you put 10% of your money into it and it doesn't work, then you just had a dog real estate fund and it failed, right?
Yeah.
So when you have an idea, you either think it's going to work and you might as well put in enough such that you win and everybody gets rich, or don't do it at all. I'm not a big fan of that. I'll give you one more example.
Here's the problem, though, Michael Saylor. You've basically gone all in on a stupid idea, and your entire company is relying on this stupid idea to be successful. Bitcoin is the stupid idea that you went all in on, and it is dumb, by the way. Let's just keep
Example I
watching.
use, Rockefeller invents kerosene.
Yeah.
Kerosene is the most highly distilled form of.
Hold on, I want to see what my boy Jeremy's saying here. Jeremy is saying, if you want to rub stuff on your face, you could get some face mask stuff or detox cream, something that's good for your skin. Do they make any blue versions of that, by the way? And is it expensive? Here's the thing, man. I mean, I love frosting. Frosting's easy to put on there. But yeah, frosting is super affordable, and yeah, it's easy to clean off. I mean, it doesn't really stay on my skin at all. Definitely leaves a little shade of blue. A little shade of blue.
Of crude oil. And it's jet fuel. It's rocket fuel,
Yeah.
right? It's pure liquid energy. Okay, so a good idea is I build a rocket ship, I build a jet engine, I build a jet airplane, or maybe.
See, that's a real idea that people can get behind, and it's actually good for humanity. Bitcoin is a bad idea that's bad for humanity. It's a net negative to humanity and society as a whole. Building a rocket ship to try to go to space exploration, I think it matters. Stuff like that matters. Stuff like Bitcoin's not the future. Bitcoin's just not the future. Okay? Does anybody see what I'm saying? I mean, I'm hoping people understand where I'm coming from here.
Maybe I create gasoline or diesel and I give you a car or truck. Those are all good ideas. Henry Ford, Boeing, they did that. What's a conventional idea, safe idea? I put a kerosene lamp in the back of my horse and buggy.
Right.
And I tell all my horse and buggy customers that now they can read a book while they're in the horse and buggy crossing the nation. Or I put a kerosene heater in the back.
So it's sad because he's trying to make you think that Bitcoin is a revolutionary idea. Look, the automobile is a revolutionary idea, right? Bitcoin is not. The transaction times are slow. Just because it's a decentralized product with a public ledger doesn't mean fucking squat. It's not valuable. It's not backed by gold. It's not backed by anything of tangible value. It sucks. Right? I mean, at least Elon Musk building a rocket, that's a good adventure. That makes sense. It's for the betterment of humanity. Bitcoin doesn't better anything. In fact, Bitcoin just makes things annoying. Yeah, here's the thing. Bitcoin is naturally a very overvalued product, Jeremy. It is absolutely 100% overvalued. Yes, you can. Jeremy's correct. You can double your money on options. I have surprisingly done that before. I still believe options trading can be a little bit of gambling, though. I mean, you have to be like hopefully very sure that the options contract that you're getting into is worthwhile.
Back of the buggy, because my customers complain about it taking 30 days to go across the Rockies in a buggy, and so I heat them up. And my point is, you don't really want to be the dude that's 2% invested or 3% invested in the revolutionary idea. You want to.
You know what sucks is that he's so deluded. He really thinks that this is my problem with Michael Saylor. He's all in. You know, it sucks when you're all in on something and you're passionate about it. You don't want it to be wrong. I think the problem is he's in too deep. He can't go back on Bitcoin now. He's in too deep. 'Cause I'm in too deep and I'm trying to keep up above in my head. Instead I'm going under 'cause I'm in too deep and I'm trying to keep up above in my head. Instead I'm going under. Instead I'm going under. See what I'm saying? Michael Saylor. Oh, without a doubt, dude, you could double your money quite a bit doing options trading, or even probably futures, but options on even simple indexes, especially long-term call options, ones that are kind of long-termish. So that's beautiful, man. I love it.
To create the rocket ship, and so in that case, I feel like either don't do it, or do it in such a way that it's so much better than everything else in the world that everyone will sell everything else and buy your thing, and everybody lives happily ever after. So that's my view.
Where do you think the diversification? Who sold the diversification to America and to the world?
By the way, diversification is not a bad thing. If you're an investor and you're just an investor, you don't own any businesses, you're just a pure investor, diversification has saved my ass. It saves my ass from an unknown future. Right? I may believe in the companies that I invest in. I love Coca-Cola. I love Realty Income. But I can't just be all in on a couple things. I gotta be exposed to the things. The point is, as much as I love Realty Income, there might be other opportunities in other REITs. You know what I mean? And that matters. Look, Michael Saylor is a grifter.
The idea to go into just send it over here to an ETF or a mutual fund.
It's a classic thing. I think when you don't know the answer, when you have 100 choices.
By the way, you don't know the answer, Michael Saylor. I think what's bugging me about Michael Saylor is that he keeps promoting Bitcoin as if it's the answer to all your problems. That if you don't get into Bitcoin, you're missing out on all the riches. You know, the only reason that people get rich on Bitcoin is because other idiots are holding the bag. It's greater fool theory personified. Literally, Michael Saylor got in early enough. But like, let's say I decided I want to go all in on Bitcoin right now, right? Chances are it's probably going to go down even further because people are waking up that guys like Michael Saylor are full of shit. Full of crap. He's trying to sell you snake oil, digital snake oil, I might add. He's trying to sell you, this man right here is trying to sell you digital snake oil. Comparing it to Apple and Amazon? Are you kidding me? Go suck it, man. In fact, the more I talk about Michael Saylor, honestly, the more angry I get. I try not to get too angry about this guy, but he's a frustrating character, man.
And you genuinely don't know the answer, and you're in the business of selling a diversified fund, you pitch in diversification.
Right.
So I think partly.
You've known a few guys that made millions on Bitcoin. Have you known a lot of the people who are the bag holders, though? Have you? I'm being serious right now. how many people have you met that were bag holders? Is what I'm trying to say. Like, how many people have you met that actually lost money? Does it make sense to some degree? You don't, because a lot of them hang their head down in shame. Majority of people that get into Bitcoin lose their money. There will be some people who make millions in Bitcoin because they either got in early or they found, some ways to trade the volatility that some others didn't. That's fine. There's always going to be somebody who becomes a millionaire in any sort of high traded stuff, right? Not everybody does, though, is what I'm trying to say. Is most of these people end up holding the bag. People who, I'll give you an example. Think about all the people who started buying Bitcoin at like 120,000, 116,000, right? They're being told by this arrogant son of a bitch to keep on holding because of the promise of a better tomorrow and that you'll be rich. Not with Bitcoin. Sorry, Bitcoin's already maxed out. And in fact, people are realizing more and more that Bitcoin is basically NFTs. Yeah. Here's the thing. Michael Saylor is so deluded because he thinks that because I made money, other people will make money too. And he knows, he's got to know, that's not the case. That most of the people who get into Bitcoin at higher prices are ultimately going to be the bag holder. It's greater fool theory personified. Yeah, 50%, exactly, B-Chipper. 50% of Bitcoin holders are underwater. Exactly. Because they are borrowing money to buy Bitcoin. Holy crap, how dumb is that?
The Vanguard 500, John Bogle, and then conventional finance people. But
that's 11 trillion.
By the way, there is nothing wrong with index funds. Actively managed funds tend to underperform. And here's the thing. Diversification. This is why I love the Vanguard Total World Index. 10,000 holdings. That level of diversification without having to pay that much is pretty good. If you could diversify early, get into it. Because diversification on a massive scale, especially in equities, that's a good one. That matters, and especially if it covers the entire globe. Let's do it. Let's go.
$1 trillion sitting over there. It's done very well for them, but I don't know that it's done that well for the American
the world's full of hedge fund guys that created diversified portfolios, and their pitch was, no one decision we make is going to bankrupt you, so give us all your money.
Right.
But if you actually look at the results, they underperformed.
I want to take a look at what Jeremy's saying real quick. So Jeremy's saying, see, what you want to do is trade options on index funds because at 60-40, so there's a decision for tax long-term gain, short-term. Yeah. Oh. What? I've never thought about it like that, about the taxation part of it in that way. Interesting. Interesting stuff, my man. Hell yeah.
Consistently. The king of diversification is just to buy the S&P index, but generally...
No, not true. If you want to be really diversified, S&P 500 index is not enough, dude. VTI exposes you to the entire stock market, U.S. stock market. And then the VXUS, if you really want to get down and dirty, exposes you to pretty much the entire international market. You could either buy the VTI and the VXUS separately, or you could just buy the VT, which is a combination of both of them, basically, for the most part. It's not exact combination, but it's pretty good. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is the Vanguard Total World Index is global diversification. So you're getting exposure to the global market. That matters. That really does matter. And in the long term, at least you'll preserve your wealth. That's what I'm trying to say. Being all in on a stupid idea like Bitcoin, and who knows, let's say Michael Saylor is right. Let's say Bitcoin goes to like $1 million per coin or 2 million, blah, blah, blah. Let's say that this goon is right. Right? Is he, though? Is he? I mean, dude, anybody with a little bit of sense can tell that Bitcoin is a stupid idea, that all cryptocurrencies are ridiculous.
I think that there's a distinction here between the financial statisticians that want you to give them your money. For them, diversification is a good pitch because, like, hey, you're a retail investor or you're busy, and I'm going to protect your money by investing you in 27 uncorrelated diversified assets, and I'm going to rebalance the portfolio every month. And I'm going to have 50 analysts that rebalance the portfolio, and I'm going to charge you 2%.
Okay, he's talking about an actively managed fund. That's different than an index fund. Don't let this grifter confuse you. Index funds are not actively managed. They rebalance the portfolio yearly, and the expense ratios are effing low. You can get into the VOO, which is the S&P 500 and Vanguard Index. There's other ones. There's the SPY as well. But the thing is, what I'm trying to get at is this. This guy's talking about actively managed funds, having guys, all these analysts and stuff. Ooh, no, those are the fees that you want to worry about. You don't want actively managed. I think index is better. Now, not financial advice, educational, entertainment purposes only. Talk to a financial advisor. But here's the thing, man. He is misleading people. And what's sad is, honestly, index ETFs are fantastic. It blows my mind that this guy is not singing the praises of diversification. Any investor that's intelligent to some degree, I believe, should have some form of diversification in their portfolio, especially to the maximum extent. I swing trade the VT, and I'd say I make a pretty good amount of money swing trading it, because I know that I could safely buy that on the dip I could sleep soundly at night knowing I could buy that on the dip. Michael Saylor's blowing my mind right now. Not in the way that you're thinking, is in like, oh, he's so brilliant. I think he's just out of his bloody mind.
Percent fee and 20% of the upside. And my my value added is consistent dynamic diversification. So that's what they're selling, and they want you to believe that you need them.
You're talking about an actively managed fund, though, dude. You dummy. It's sad. I've never met a guy that has multiple degrees, but yet is so arrogant and dumb on finance. Maybe people who went to college are just stupid about finance. Maybe they just don't get it.
And they charge you, when you charge 2 and 20, you're basically taking 40% of somebody's capital over the course of 10 years.
This guy really is arrogant. Hold on. Remember when Elon Musk told people that Tesla was going to be a brand that the car is actually increasing in value instead of depreciating, but his Cybertruck... Yeah, here's the thing, man. I love Elon Musk. I think Elon Musk is fantastic. He at least makes products that are useful, right? Michael Saylor just invests in gambling products like Bitcoin, right? It's not an investment at that point. It's just stupid. He's turned his entire company into a Bitcoin treasury. How idiot! If you take a step back and tell me that's not idiotic. Tell me it's like, I don't know. It blows my mind. Is what I'm going to say. It blows my mind.
Right. So it's a pretty expensive service. On the other hand, there's another view of the world, which is the engineer's view of the world. When you build an airplane, you've got the choice of building an airplane.
What do I think of covered call funds like SPY? I actually don't mind covered call ETFs being in my portfolio because I do like derivative income. So 10% of my portfolio consists of covered call ETFs that cover broad indexes. And the reason for that, you're probably wondering, why would I do that? Well, first off, I love derivative income, but I don't feel like doing the covered call strategies because they use a buy right strategy where they buy the companies that they want to have, right? And then they write the call contract, put it out on the market for a premium, and then, it's when they pocket the premium, that sort of thing. But they use the shares that they purchased as the collateral for the call option that they wrote. So it's a strategy that honestly I don't feel like implementing myself. So I usually use a covered call ETF I haven't used Spy Eye yet, though. I don't know. Maybe I have Spy Eye. Hold on. I feel like it sounds familiar. Spy Eye. Let me see if I actually have that. Okay, I take that back. I forgot I have Spy Eye in my portfolio. Nice. But yeah, no, I love covered call ETFs because a lot of the time you're getting exposure to a strategy that maybe you don't have the time or sometimes the excessive capital to implement that strategy, without a doubt. Yeah, it's just... It's good. Let's see. Jeremy's saying, did you see not some time ago the Trump administration helped pass laws that would allow crypto investments for 401ks? Ugh, really? Ugh. I love Trump, man, but at the same time, there are things he does that make me pissed off. The crypto thing pisses me off. Oh, God. There should be no crypto investments in your 401k. A strategic Bitcoin reserve. Look, I still think that's the dumbest idea ever. I really do. Let's just keep going, man. This guy, here's the problem with Michael Saylor. I just find him to be nothing but arrogance. He's a level of arrogance, but no intelligence. He's intelligent, yes, but I think he's more arrogant than he is intelligence. I think his arrogance is much higher than his intelligence. He's still intelligent, but his arrogance is like he thinks he's a god. Michael Saylor thinks he's King Laser Eyes of the Bitcoin movement. Let's keep watching.
And copper, aluminum, or steel, or bronze, or bricks, or wood, and there's a right answer, aluminum, and everything else is the wrong answer. And if you build it in steel, it doesn't fly. And if you build it in clay, it doesn't work, right? You build it in copper, it's not working. So in engineering, there's a right answer for the plane. It was aluminum. For bridges, there's a right answer. It's like steel, right? When you're creating a window, there's a right answer, for how what kind of glass you use, and then there's a wrong answer. So engineers are used to asking the question, what's the right answer? How about you want to conduct electricity through a line, copper, or titanium, or you can pick 100 metals, but there's one metal that works better than the other metals. So if you're an engineer and there's a right answer, you don't diversify, you pick the solution, because otherwise you die. But when you don't know that.
Okay, so I'm guessing what he's trying to correlate, because I think he's trying to be clever here, he's trying to say, well, what's the right answer for money? The dollar, currencies that are physical, or Bitcoin? Bitcoin's the number one answer. Yeah. Ugh. Good Lord, man. Michael flippin' Saylor. Let's go.
The answer. When you're not sure whether copper's going up or aluminum's going up or steel is going up or a bushel of corn is going up in price, and nor does your customer know the answer.
Pick them all.
Well, you can create a service, which is I'll just give you a diversified mix of all of them, and that justifies your business, and you charge a lot of money for it. But
by the way, if you get into a commodities index, if you get into any sort of index that's not actively traded, you don't have to pay that much. The expense ratios are pretty small. Mr. Saylor, stop lying. Quit trying to tell people that the only thing out there is active. You're basically just saying that actively managed, he's acting like actively managed funds are the only thing that people have options to. Dude, index funds, index ETFs, they exist. Holy crap, dude. I can't. It's tough for me to watch Michael Saylor because I just feel like I said, his arrogance outweighs his intelligence is the problem. He's an intelligent guy, but at the same time, he's so arrogant that he just can't see the forest from the fucking trees. Anyway, let's see. Jeremy is saying you shouldn't have a diversified portfolio. Just invest 100%. Yeah, that's basically I think that's what he's trying to allude to. Is just be all in on this good idea. And he's trying to convince everybody, just be all in. Don't be just 2% in. Be basically all in on this good idea. Because with Steve Jobs 2% in on Apple? No. Here's the thing, though. Steve Jobs actually created Apple, is what I'm trying to say. Michael Saylor, you didn't create Bitcoin unless somehow you are Satoshi Nakamoto. Then that's a different story. But even then, you're not. You probably aren't. You should be. Because you didn't create Bitcoin and you don't really know what Bitcoin's going to become. You first off, you already know it has an intrinsic value of 0. Let's see. ET says, yo, that zombies are hungry guy is on right now, bro. Either way, let's just...
I think the diversification only makes sense when there is no right answer. It's like the joke example I use is, yeah, you're on a sinking ship and there's 10 lifeboats, and one of them, is watertight and the other have holes in the bottom of them. Find the one that's watertight, put the entire family in that one, and then you live, and pick the one that isn't watertight. You're going to die, right? You're not going to diversify across a bunch of imperfect components.
Were you looking 4 or 5 years ago? Or
that is a dumb analogy. I'm sorry. I got to take a crap, you guys. Hold on. I'll be right back. We'll watch the rest. Yeah, this is just frustrating. I'm frustrated to the point I got to crap myself. Let's continue. I'm feeling 20 pounds lighter right now. Holy crap, man.
Before that, were you looking for something other than what you were doing?
You know, during the COVID lockdowns in the middle of 2020, we had $500 million of cash, and the bankers took the interest rate to zero. And yeah, we were
500.
Yeah,
$500 million in cash.
$500 million. And, you know, so it's like you have a $500 million real estate portfolio and the mayor of the city unilaterally reduces your rents to zero and tells you they're gonna rent control the rent to zero for the next 5 years because that's the right thing to do because we're in a crisis, right? There's COVID crisis. And if you don't like it, then you must not be a good citizen, right?
Right.
There's something wrong with you, right? You're just insensitive capitalist. And the right thing to do is we just reduce the rents to zero forever, which is easy to do with somebody else's money, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of...
Well, I mean, Michael Saylor's making a point with real estate, but I don't know how that correlates with his dumb investment into Bitcoin. But, you know, like I said, it's crazy. Michael Saylor does understand some things financially. I just don't understand why an intelligent guy like that would legitimately believe that Bitcoin itself is worthwhile, a worthwhile investment. That just blows my mind.
You know what happened during COVID, right? I mean, we literally did it with rents.
Yeah.
You know, and we did it with capital. So when that happened, if that were to happen to you, if someone said, I'm reducing your rents unilaterally to zero forever, and you could sell the property and move to a different state or move to a different city, you might very well do that, right? So we had $500 million worth of property. It was called Treasury bills. It was unilaterally reduced to a value of zero per year. And I think Jerome Powell gave a speech, and he said very famously, he said, we're not even thinking about raising the interest rates until the year 2024 or 2025.
Right. Repeatedly he said it.
I didn't need to hear that twice. So I thought I better go find something else to buy other than Treasury bills. So we started thinking, could we buy a stock portfolio? Could we buy a portfolio of art? Could we buy some real estate? Could I buy a fraction of a sports team? Should I buy a bunch of gold or should I buy a bunch of digital gold? And by the process...
Don't say, oh, why does he... That irritates me. He's like, oh, should I buy some digital gold? Stop comparing Bitcoin to gold. It's not digital mold. Sorry, it's not digital gold, it's digital mold, man. Come on, bro. Come on. Dude, Michael Saylor blows my mind. The man's arrogance. It's surprising that an intelligent man like Michael Saylor could think something that is like Bitcoin, which is dumb, by the way. To think of that as intelligent. This guy blows my mind. I think he's just I don't know, man. Some intelligent people don't understand economics. That's okay. You can't understand everything, but for him to pretend like he understands that Bitcoin has some magical intrinsic value. Bitcoin is it's grifter money, dude. Look up the history of Michael Saylor is pretty dark. This guy has been, in my opinion, a very questionable businessman for a long time. A very, very long time. Michael Saylor. Make sure you guys tap the like button and the subscribe button as well. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow in more ways than one. And greatly appreciate it, my bronies. So let's keep going.
Process of elimination. We went through all those things.
Had you been introduced to Bitcoin prior to that?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean, I'd never really seriously thought about it.
Okay.
Right? So I went through the process of elimination, and I started thinking maybe I should buy gold. But then I thought what I'd really like is something that feels like gold, a non-sovereign store of value bearer instrument, and I like something which is the best cross between gold and Google. I wanted a digital monopoly on money. Digital gold. And I thought, well, this crypto stuff looks like it's digital gold. A crypto coin, 21 million.
Just because there's a finite supply does not mean it's comparable to gold, by the way. By the way, the finite supply is artificially constructed. The supply of gold is determined by how much gold is in existence, in actual reality. The scarcity of Bitcoin is an artificial construct made by a man, not enforced by nature. So in all actuality, because that limitation is not a real limitation, it's an imposed man-made limitation, why is Bitcoin even worth it? Bitcoin has no usefulness, no utility. Just because Bitcoin is scarce does not mean it's comparable to gold. Bitcoin can be compared to Beanie Babies. There's an argument that Bitcoin is a digital collectible. You could make that argument that Bitcoin itself is a digital collectible. But it is not. I repeat, it is not even close to being comparable to gold. No. And it's sad that a guy like this, who is clearly an intelligent man, can have such a dumb opinion on something like Bitcoin. And when I say a dumb opinion, I mean his opinion is dumb because it's pro-Bitcoin. He's comparing it to gold, saying that he's saying it's better than gold, which is disgusting. He's got to know in his heart of hearts he's grifting. I just don't know.
Crypto coins, because the appeal of gold is it's scarce and desirable as a store of value, and the appeal of crypto is I can teleport it and I can self-custody it. And
of course you could teleport it. It is zeros and ones. Zeros and ones. It is straight up data on a public ledger, a decentralized public ledger, which is cool. It's not money, though. It'll never be money. It'll never be an asset. It shouldn't be. It's literally you're owning a string of data at the end of the day. That's not valuable to me. Gold is valuable to me because I can own it. It's mine. I don't have to rely on some network like the Bitcoin network to exist to make sure that my gold exists. I just need reality to exist for my gold to exist. I don't think reality's getting shut down anytime soon, by the way. Bitcoin network, that could get shut down. I could find a way to make that happen. I'm pretty sure also the entire Bitcoin network is going to get cracked by quantum computers here pretty soon. So his love of Bitcoin's too idiotic, in my opinion. But anyway, yeah, I mean, look, and I'm not telling you that Bitcoin's a good investment. Am I? If I was really grifting, wouldn't I be a crypto channel? If I was a real grifter, I'd be a crypto channel, without a doubt. That's what I would. If I wanted to be the king of all grifters, I would be a crypto channel without a flippin' doubt. But instead, I tell you guys the truth, and I take a risk doing that. You want to know why? I take a risk of a lack of viewership because there's so many hopeless people on YouTube that think that Bitcoin's somehow going to save their life or their marriage or their hairline.
I can program it. So then I just started thinking, well, what's the crypto network which is most like gold? And I eventually decided Bitcoin was digital gold.
God. Like I said, you can make the argument that Bitcoin's a digital collectible. But at the same time, why? Bitcoin is the epitome of greed, to be honest. Bitcoin is greed personified, if you think about it, in many ways. Yeah, Bitcoin is clickcoin. We all know that Bitcoin sucks, by the way. I hope people know that. Who knows? Who knows? Do people realize that it's garbage? We'll see. We'll all see. Look, Bitcoin is garbage. Bitcoin is the epitome of greed, if anything. Absolutely.
And so we bought Bitcoin because gold was the best idea of the 19th century. And arguably, if you wanted portable capital, you wanted...
Gold isn't just an idea. It's a fact. It exists. Gold has many uses. Bitcoin has 0 good uses, by the way. I think Bitcoin honestly overcomplicates the finance system. I think it's just so unnecessary. I don't think it's revolutionary. The transaction times are incredibly slow. Oh, thank you, PP. PP. What up? Thank you, PP. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the 100. Dude, he's comboing. PP. I'm pretty based. Yeah. Let's keep watching Michael Saylor tell us how great
property.
Bitcoin is.
You wanted money for the past 5,000 years, right? Gold was generally a pretty popular idea.
It wasn't just that it was popular. Gold itself is valuable. It has usefulness. It is useful. It could be used as a conductor. It could be used in jewelry. It could be used... Hell, it's used in electronics sometimes, depending on what type of component needs it. But gold is excellent, man. Gold is malleable. Gold is the real store of value here. Bitcoin is not a store of value. Bitcoin is a string of flippin' data, dude. And I'm tired of you brainwashing the youth into thinking that something that is not valuable is valuable, because you got to stop that right now, bro. I'm here to stop you, Michael Saylor, from brainwashing the youth.
But in the 21st century, what you'd like is something that's as desirable as gold, but you want it to be programmable. You want to move it at the speed of light. You want to put it on an iPhone. You know.
Thank you, Nate Dogg, for the happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop, yum yum. Michael Saylor, yum yum. Look, you guys, just a quick thing. I usually don't watch Michael Saylor interviews because when I do, I think my blood pressure spikes. I don't get really that angry, but he does frustrate me in the sense that he keeps trying to convince you that it's the weirdest thing. Like, and his response is, if you're not getting into Bitcoin, you're going to be poor. Does that sound familiar, by the way? If you don't get into Bitcoin, you're going to get poor. What does that sound like? And multi-level marketing scheme. In multi-level marketing schemes, the language is actually very similar to the Bitcoin bros. The Bitcoin bros use very similar stuff. Like, if you don't get in now, have fun being poor forever. Ooh, they'll give you like, oh, you're going to miss out on the riches. Yeah. If you don't get into Bitcoin right in this instant, you're going to miss out on all the riches. Hodl. Strokers, what's up, dude? The Strokers just sent a Michael Garza gift membership to Matt Leach Music. Thank you very much, Strokers. I appreciate it. Invest in the things that actually hold value in real life. Exactly, Strokers. Exactly. By the way, Tim Smith, I see your comment, by the way. I'll get to you in a second, Tim, my brony. But the Strokers, dude, invest in the things that actually hold value in real life. Precisely. The things that hold value are this. Like, the ETFs that I hold, they hold several different companies within those funds. I'm getting diversification up the ass. But let's see. Tim Smith says Garza versus Saylor versus Cardone. This is a late 90s WWE triple threat match. Without a doubt, dude. Without a doubt. This is the greatest match of all time. I'm angry at Michael Saylor. I'm angry at Grant Cardone for being a crypto bro, too. It sucks. I like Grant Cardone more than I like Michael Saylor, though. I think Michael Saylor is just pure grifter, whereas I think Grant Cardone, he's a grifter, don't get me wrong. Both have grifter tendencies. Michael Saylor, I think, is the king of grifting, and then, Grant Cardone, he's been an interesting mentor to me over the years. In the sense I have never talked to him directly, but he's mentored me in the sense I've read his books, listened to his audiobooks. He's a very fascinating dude, and I like his mind. He's got a very keen mind. Let's keep going.
Yeah, and the thing about Bitcoin, which is better, in addition to being programmable and digital, was that it's absolutely hard capped at 21 million coins. And so the inflation rate of Bitcoin is 0. It was pretty obvious to me over the long time.
It's artificially constructed. Of course, the inflation rate is 0. The 21 million is imposed strictly by the creator of Bitcoin. It's an artificial construct created by a man. Stroker says, let's see. Hold on. You're hung like a squirrel, says Garza is like Bitcoin. Useless. I appreciate that, brother. Let's see. The Strokers says companies run by real people or products. The companies advertise or anything of the above, anything in real life, is what you'd need to invest in. Anything else is just a fictional fairy tale. Yep. Stroker says XRP, for instance, is a cryptocurrency, but it has a real-life stance because it is run by an actual company. I want to back. I still think even XRP is grifter trash, but I do see your point. At least it's run by some sort of entity. Look, at the same time, I think that decentralization can only go so far. And I like decentralization. Don't get me wrong. I think it's good to outsource resources, which is what Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies do by all technicality, is they are using the resources of other computers to keep the overall network alive. Granted, that's actually kind of cool. And there's a proof of work algorithm and all that, but the energy uses to keep the proof of work algorithm going, part of the proof of work aspect of it going, is ridiculous. And look, the more I study Bitcoin, the more I think it's really cool software. Like, I think it's neat. But I don't think it's worth anything, and that's just that's really the point I'm trying to get at, is that while something can be cool, something can be neat, something can be fun, I don't know. John Lopez is doing a research project for school. One question: what does being a good father mean to you? Well, I'm not a father by any real means of a human child or any way. But I would say I think being a good father would mean I don't know. Yeah, encouragement, providing shelter and food for the children, but some encouragement. For sure. I think it's the one thing I never got. And maybe it was better that I never got encouragement. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe it was good that I didn't get encouragement at all. Like, I got a lot of discouragement in my life. And it could have stunted me, but it didn't. Luckily, I'm a rebellious son of a bitch, and I believe in myself completely, to the point where I'm like, you know what? Let's do this. Stroker, whoa, dude, the Stroker says he has 15 kids he's never met. Damn. Dude, do you have to pay child support for all those kids, or are you just aware that the kids exist? Or are you like a sperm donor? Are you like a sperm donor? Like, that's crazy. 15 kids that you've never met? That's crazy. Hey, I'm not like dogging you or anything, but damn, dude, just like what's his nuts, Tyler Durden said in Fight Club, man, setting up franchises. Dude, the Strokers is setting up franchises, man. That's what I'm seeing. The Strokers is setting up franchises, bro.
Time horizon, as the limit goes from 0 to infinity, the inflation rate is 0.
Why is it 0?
Because there's 21 million. That's all there's ever going to be.
Okay, so
there's 21 million.
Yeah.
Right. And the rate at which we create more Bitcoin is asymptotically following to 0. It's falling to 0.
What is that word?
You know, asymptotically.
That's a big word, bro.
It's like if I try to go to the wall there, and each time I move, I cut my step in half. And I go half as far and half as far and half as far and half as far.
Yeah.
That's asymptotically approaching the edge of the room.
Wow.
But even
Stroker says artificial insemination did it the old-fashioned way. So you're basically saying you're a sperm donor. Strokers, are you saying you're just a sperm donor? Stroker golf, man, you're killing me, bro. I love it.
over 1 billion trillion years, if I keep cutting my step in half, I'll never get there, right?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you say, well, how wide is the room? It's like 12 feet.
Right.
Well, so with Bitcoin, you know that there'll never be more than 21 million Bitcoin. And in public company parlance, you would refer to that as the fully diluted share count. The fully diluted Bitcoin count between now and 1 million
there
years.
can't be any more shares.
It's like if you knew you were going to 21 million shares.
Yeah.
It's like when I'm valuing your company, I want to know, well, what's the total number of shares that can ever be issued between now and 100 years from now, right? I don't really care how many shares you issued this week or this month. I just want to know, are you going to 21 million shares? Or are you going to 2.1 trillion shares?
Right.
Right? And so the fully diluted Bitcoin count was 21 million. And the significance of that is that means the inflation rate's 0. But the inflation rate on gold is 2%. And the fully diluted gold account is infinite.
Okay, but gold is useful. That's what I'm trying to say. Gold is useful. Even if, by the way, because they're going to dig up more gold. There's always going to be gold that's mined and found and stuff like that. So there's always going to be a little more gold supply out there, right? What I'm trying to go for here, what I'm trying to suggest is this, that because gold is useful, it doesn't matter if there's an inflation of gold itself, because it's still ultimately very useful. And that Bitcoin is not useful. The dollar is not useful. These two things have no intrinsic value. Therefore, there's no point in saving Bitcoin. There's no point in saving any cryptocurrency. Honestly, there's no point in saving the dollar. Invest in real assets that the government can't print, right? And that not only can't print, but are actually valuable, like have utility, have produce something, that sort of thing. When I'm investing in stocks, I'm investing in companies that do something. They're productive. It matters. When I'm investing in Bitcoin, I'm not investing at all. I'm gambling, because I'm assuming that Bitcoin is always going to hold its popularity forever. It's not the case. And look, I could be wrong. Bitcoin will go to $1 trillion. And if it does, then we're living in clown world. That's the determination. That's the reason I wear this frosting every night. Well, not every night. Most nights. The reason I wear this frosting most nights is to remind people that we are living in clown world. And that the only way to get out of it is to make fun of it, is to mock it. Mock it as hard as you can. And that's why I mock Bitcoin. I mock the guys like Michael Saylor, because they're public figures. They could be mocked. You can mock these people. Because if you think that what they're promoting is stupid, you can say it's stupid. That's simple. I think he's an intelligent dude. That's the thing. I've listened to Michael Saylor interviews. I think he's an intelligent guy. This is just proof positive that intelligent people can believe in stupid ideas.
Because if I keep increasing the amount of gold by 2% a year, that's infinite amount of gold. If you want to figure out practically how you value it, well, when you increase the supply of something by 2% a year, that means that you're doubling the supply every 36 years. That means the economic half-life of your money is 36 years. That means the half-life is 36 years. That means you're going to live 70 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's still not a good enough point. Just because there's an inflation in gold, by the way, 2% inflation in gold's not that bad. Second, gold has usefulness, utility. That's the point I'm trying to make. And by the way, its scarcity is not imposed by man, it's imposed by nature, right? The scarcity and the energy used to mine it, it's there. I mean, look, mining for gold is better than mining for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is an artificial construct by man. Gold is real. Gold is part of reality. Gold has utility. If you took away the market price of Bitcoin, what do you have? If you look at Bitcoin as a pure product, get to the root of what it is. What is it? It's just a string of data. Why would I save this again? Why would I use this again? It's a shame that Michael Saylor, a very intelligent man, has been ruined by a mentality called the gambler's mentality. He thinks that something that is a gamble, which it is a gamble, by the way, is valuable. It's disgusting. I mean, I'm surprised more people are not sickened by this. It frustrates me. It really does. Why do I get so frustrated about it? Why do I get so heated about it? I'm exaggerating how heated I am. I think he's a smart dude who believes in a very stupid thing. You could be a smart person overall and believe in something stupid. It happens all the fucking time.
Okay, well, what's the half-life of the inflation rate? 0. Infinity. So
hold on. The Stroker says, let's see, frosting is real as it has value. Dog Eat Dog says, I finally tried the Dubai chocolate bar. Let's see, I bank it and sell it like Bitcoin. Let's see. Stroker says he's not ruined. He's making the public buy into... okay, so the Strokers is saying he's not ruined. He's making the public buy into a fantasy and then only dubbed the load onto the entire public. Michael Donaldson saying, I'm sickened by the blue frosting for it. All right. I love you, Michael Donaldson. You're the man. AKA Financial Reset. Yeah, I don't think there... Here's the thing. I still think... Either we live in a time where people don't... I think we just live in a time where people don't understand what intrinsic value is.
So what's your life expectancy if the inflation rate is 0?
And I'll tell you this. It's a circulatory argument because even if the inflation rate of Bitcoin is 0, its intrinsic value is still 0. What Michael Saylor's failing to account for here is intrinsic value. Inflation of any product can happen, by the way. It can. Gold has inflation. Not much of inflation, but some. But Bitcoin, even though Bitcoin doesn't have any true inflation because you know there's always going to be 21 million, it still doesn't matter because 21 million of what? Data? Strings of data? By the way, the 21 million is artificially constructed by a man. It's so fucking annoying.
0. Your life expectancy is infinite. You're immortal. You're living for 1 billion trillion years.
Like that idea.
0 is 1 billion trillion years. You're a god.
Mm-hmm.
2% is you're going to die. Half of you dies in 36 years. The other half dies in the next 36 years. Maybe you make 100 years and you're pretty much done for, right? And so it's the difference between a mortal life of a human being versus economic immortality. We can dismiss it if we just think in the next 12-month time frame. But, you know, if you're an engineer, it's like, well, what's the difference between you lose 2% of your energy every cycle versus you lose none of your energy every cycle?
Mm-hmm.
That is the dumbest argument I've ever seen for promoting Bitcoin. That's the dumbest argument. Gold is still gold. Whether there's more, even if there's more of a supply of gold that comes in, gold is still a hedge against actual inflation of the currency that exists. Now, granted, is my entire portfolio gold? No. Do I have some Bitcoin? Yes. But I got into Bitcoin very early, so I never sold it. I bet against Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. It's weird that he's talking about the scarcity factor. Like, sure, there's 0% inflation on Bitcoin. That's because it's artificially constructed scarcity. Of course there's 0%, because it's all an artificial construct. Stroker says, we live in a time where nobody understands what anything is. Yep. Or the opposite, because ignorance is bliss. Yeah, look, I choose to invest in assets that have intrinsic value. That's what I want. Bitcoin doesn't have intrinsic value, therefore I'm not about it.
None of your energy every cycle is perpetual motion. You last forever. 2% of your energy every cycle, and you spend it 100 times, there's nothing left, right? You burn out the motor. Okay, so I like the idea of gold, but digital gold is better. And how much better? Infinitely better, right? Infinitely better.
No, and stop calling Bitcoin digital gold. Because that's a lie. It's a lie. Michael Saylor, you're trying to convince people that a lie is the truth. And I'm not having it. I'm here to expose you. CoffeeZilla doesn't expose guys like Michael Saylor, unfortunately, because CoffeeZilla is too much of a poon. My main issue with Michael Saylor is this. He's lying. And yes, do I bet against Bitcoin? Sure, I do. I also own Bitcoin. Do I hedge my bets by owning the Bitcoin? Sure. Bitcoin is trash. Awful, terrible trash. And yeah, I got into Bitcoin really early. I never sold it. But I do bet against it using the S-Bit. I'm very transparent about that. It's not financial advice, just truth. And what I'm trying to get at here is this. Are you really going to believe in this Ponzi scheme? And look at that. Oh, I got some frosting on my... Blows my mind, man. Blows my effing mind, bro.
So in 2020, we settled on Bitcoin as digital gold. We decided we're going to sell our $500 million worth of treasury bills, and we're going to buy $500 million worth of Bitcoin.
First purchase was how big?
$250 million.
Wow, dude.
Next purchase, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, 20 days later or something, was $175 million.
Your first purchase was $250 million. Half of your cash reserves.
Yeah, well, actually,
how did
I
you
would have bought it all, by the way. I wanted to buy it all, but the board of directors wouldn't let me.
Well,
like my
bunch of idiots, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, I can't believe he's acting like he's clever on this. Stroker says, I still think all crypto's garbage at the end of the day. I just think it's garbage. But yeah, I know Ripple. I know about Ripple. Ripple's the company that created XRP, and I still think cryptocurrency at the end of the day is just, it's still gambling. I mean, look, if owning XRP means that I own Ripple, and now I don't know if I don't know what kind of products Ripple makes for the most part. I really don't know much about the company Ripple, but if they make good products and they're a profitable company, and if I own XRP and that's I don't know, some sort of almost like proof of ownership, and I can sell it, I guess, at some point to somebody who wants it at a higher price. I don't know. It depends on like what the valuation of the company is. I don't know much about Ripple, to be honest. That's crazy though, man.
I said that, you didn't. But let me ask you, how do you make a decision after years of accumulating that much fiat, that much cash?
Yeah.
How do you make a decision?
By the way, cash is fiat. So is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is also fiat. That's the irony about this. Just because Bitcoin is scarce doesn't mean that it has value. Scarcity does not equate to value, right? Intrinsic value is more than just scarcity. Rarity helps in the measurement of value, but it's not the end all be all. What does this asset do? Why? The question that you must always ask is, why is this valuable? What makes it actually valuable? And is the market exaggerating about its valuation, or is it undervaluing it? That's the question. And a lot of the time it's overvaluing it. Sometimes to the point of grotesque, like Palantir's like 600 times price over earnings. What a sick joke.
Decision in a week, I'm going to drop $250 million, half of my reserves into one investment. How do you get that much conviction that quick? Or did it take a minute?
The lockdowns hit. The politicians make us.
By the way, I do want to say this to the strokers. At the end of the day, man, I mean, I think Ripple, I don't know much about Ripple, but I'll probably look into them a little bit more. I might get into XRP. I might, if there's enough incentive to do so. Not the promise of riches or anything, but if there's like, actually, I think I already have some XRP now that I think about it. In my Robinhood account. It's kind of whatever, but yeah, boy.
Let's close the office. Everybody goes home. Google and Apple and Amazon and Microsoft start sniping all of our employees from home. It's pretty clear, right? If I want to destroy your company, I sentence all of your employees to home jail, right? To home imprisonment. And then I offer them 20% more to redirect their computer browser to some other company. So it's clear we're going to lose all of our human capital. The stock tanks to $9 a share, and the company's worth nothing.
This was MicroStrategy at the time?
2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you the story of You're asking me, how did I get conviction?
The audience, your software company.
It's March of 2020.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Why is Michael Saylor getting so frustrated with Grant? Like, I think Grant, is trying to make sure Grant is trying to pay attention. It's pretty clear that Grant's trying to pay attention, but you see Michael Saylor getting visibly upset. Why would you be upset with Grant, dude? He first off, Grant has 3 million subscribers, and he's bringing this effing grifter onto his show. And Michael Saylor is just being kind of a douche, kind of a pompous douchebag. Honestly, if I ever had Michael Saylor on my show, I'd cuss him out. I would be honored if I could interview Michael Saylor and he left my show after 5 minutes. In fact, I would be honored if he tried to sock me in the face. I think that'd be hilarious if Michael Saylor got so pissed off at me that he tried to sock me. I would find that hilarious because I know I did the right thing by angering the grifter.
We're a software company. Yeah. We're a $500 million software company, and the lockdowns come and all of our employees get sent home, and we're losing them to Microsoft and Amazon. And so we're losing our human capital. We're a public company.
And first off, I was a little lost with Michael Saylor's description of what he was even talking about anyway. So it's, he didn't fully explain himself. So Grant had every reason to kind of be like, hey, were you talking about MicroStrategy at the time, right? He was clarifying. All right. And there's nothing wrong with trying to clarify to make sure that you're still on the right story. You're still on the right path. They did this in the 1920s with Gold standard. I still don't think Bitcoin is comparable to gold, though. Gold has actual usefulness and utility. Bitcoin doesn't. Bitcoin, look, everything has perceived value, and everything actually has intrinsic value. Bitcoin has zero intrinsic value, just to give you guys a heads up. And gold actually has a large amount of intrinsic value based on what it can do. Now, can you always put a number to that? Probably not. But you can at least estimate what gold would be worth based on its usefulness, its utility. I think what frustrates me is that they just don't take that into account, and they should.
The stock tanks, it's valued at half of revenue or something.
Wow.
Call it $3 a share. That's what the company's worth. And
MicroStrategy was $3 a share at one point. Holy crap! I should have bought like 10 shares at the time. That would have been hilarious.
And if we do, and then Jerome Powell says, well, the 500 million in capital, that's worth nothing forever.
Wow.
And our choice is either sell the company. It's like a fast death. Just sell the company, give up, write off 30 years of work. Or a slow death. Cling on to $500 million of cash yielding zero, watch it get inflated 20% away a year, right? The inflation rate was 20% at that point when printing money.
Yeah, so basically the reason that Saylor bought Bitcoin was out of pure desperation because his company sucked. I think that's what we're kind of learning here. And look, business is tough. I'm not going to dog the guy for having a bankrupt company. What I'm trying to say is the guy gambled, and he was right in a sense that he made a lot of money from the gamble, but he's not ultimately right about Bitcoin being a long-term store of value. He has what's called survivorship bias. Because he survived and was able to make a bunch of money on Bitcoin, he believes that everybody will make a ton of money on Bitcoin if they just hodl. Hodl your money, Jog. Yes, you got to hodl it. Yes.
Money like there is no tomorrow. Costs are, you can't see the inflation in 2020 because it's illegal to buy anything. Right? When there's a war and the government doubles the money supply, but it's illegal to buy anything, you don't see the inflation. You see the inflation after the war ends when when you can go buy an airplane ticket or go to a concert or try to go to a hotel, and at that point everything doubles or triples in cost, except you don't have any money, right? Because the government doubled the money supply. So it was pretty clear to me that the currency was collapsing. And we were going to have all our human capital stripped away, and we were, having all of our financial capital stripped away. And, I think the stock traded $1 million a day. Like no one cared at all about the company. And we're either going to basically sell the company, give up for, $8 a share, $10 a share, or whatever, or we're going to cling to life for 5 more years, at which point all of our employees will have quit. The product won't be any good anymore. We've just had all of our talent stripped away from us, and then the world will say, well, they went out of business because they deserved to go out of business because they couldn't compete with the big guys, Or we could do something. We could take a risk. So it's that point.
Well, I mean, if his company was going to go bankrupt at that point, I mean, he was throwing a Hail Mary. He was, at that point, I will say this. Bitcoin saved MicroStrategy. Surprisingly. It did. It kept them alive, and now they're the biggest Bitcoin treasury holder ever. I guess it's probably why Michael Saylor is able to get away with some of the atrocities that he gets away with as a CEO. Because could you imagine Warren Buffett doing what Michael Saylor did, if he turned Berkshire Hathaway into a Bitcoin treasury? His shareholders would eat him alive and tell him to get him off the fucking board, get that kooky old man off the board. But the reason Michael Saylor is able to do this is because, MicroStrategy was going bankrupt. And he had no other choice. He's like, well, we're on the path of destruction, so let's throw it all on red. And he turned out to be right for now. I think that Bitcoin is a terrible long-term hold, by the way. It really is. And and now he's a Bitcoin treasury. I still won't touch MicroStrategies with a 10-foot pole, though, because I don't believe in Bitcoin. I believe in betting against Bitcoin, and I'm basically, the guy that I'm looking at, I'm betting against Michael Saylor. It's really, at the end of the day, Michael Garza versus Michael Saylor. WWE, Michael Garza versus Michael Saylor. Round 1, fight. Here we go. Let's keep going.
Point in the movie where the guy's sitting in the Citadel with an army.
Yeah.
And he sees there's a war, and there's the War of the Roses, and there's there's the white faction, and there's the...
I will say it's interesting to hear the story of MicroStrategies. It's interesting to hear the origin story of it. When I say the origin story, I should say the almost end of the story for it. MicroStrategies is... Unfortunately, I was so happy when the S&P 500 declined Strategy's entry into the S&P 500. That made me very excited. I still think they're probably eventually, unfortunately, going to let them in, which is sad.
The red faction, the Yorks and the Lancasters, and you're either going to sit there and get starved to death by both of them, or you're going to pick a side, and you're going to ride out and you're going to fight. And if you win, maybe you get to live, and if you lose, well, at least you went out fighting, right? And so that was where we were at in 2020, and we decided it's either a fast death or a slow death or fight. And I thought maybe I would prefer to fight.
So you thought at that time, buying $250 million worth of Bitcoin in one day. Had you bought any up to this point at all?
No, I mean the way we got there.
Bitcoin?
No, nothing.
Nothing.
No, I mean,
crazy.
Look,
he did gamble. Whether people like to admit it or not, he gambled. He's still gambling, by the way. He's still assuming that because he made a decent amount of money on Bitcoin, that he's going to continue to make money on Bitcoin. And I think it's a bad assumption. I really do. Yeah, I do. I invest in, first off, I own stocks. By the way, John Shaw, I do own stocks. I own stocks, bonds, and commodities. I even own Bitcoin, unfortunately. I bet against Bitcoin, though. I got into Bitcoin really early. I hope the Bitcoin markets continue to tank because Bitcoin sucks.
It didn't happen in one day. What happened is I concluded by April that this was a way out. Bitcoin was growing 80% a year at the time. Mm-hmm. So if you can buy something appreciating 80% a year, that's a commodity on your balance sheet.
Faster than your company.
It's like, if you could buy a digital monopoly growing 80% a year at 1 times revenue, would you?
Yeah.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
If you could buy a digital monopoly growing 30% a year for the next 20 years at 1 times revenue, would you? Everybody would. It's not a complicated idea. I expect Bitcoin to grow 30% a year for the next 20 years.
That's insane. 30%? Do you say 30% a year for the next 20 years? Dude is in a rude awakening. That's a level of delusion. I'm stunned. It's funny. He may have a success story with Bitcoin, but how many people don't? How many people got in real late and then it crashed? Now, here's the thing. You could have held, bought more, bought the dip, blah, blah, blah. The whole story, how it goes. And look, I have Bitcoin. I own it. I don't believe in it, though. In fact, what I do believe is that it's trash and that it belongs in the trash, for sure. Guys like Saylor blow my mind. Like, I think what gets me about Mr. Saylor, crypto is stupid, dude. John, if you're up on all crypto, if you think that crypto Oh, I own stocks, by the way. John, I own stocks. I think that crypto is just a Ponzi scheme. And I think that John Shaw, you in the chat, John Shaw, and Michael Saylor are beautiful, sexy grifters.
It's a monopoly. You're getting it, you buy $100,000 worth of Bitcoin, you're getting a $100,000 business growing 30% a year. This is a monopoly at 1 times revenue. Why wouldn't you? Everybody would. The breakthrough was just thinking of it as doing a acquisition of a digital monopoly on money, right? It's the dominant digital monetary network, right? So we have to do a transformational acquisition. And
to survive.
And since there's no other company growing 80% a year that's available at 1 times revenue that'll sell themselves to us, Bitcoin was the deal, right? Bitcoin
no employees.
Yeah. So we looked at it and we thought we can buy the dominant digital monetary network at 1 times revenue. It's growing 80% a year. On paper, it looks just fine.
Just because, past performance does not equal future results. I want to repeat this to everybody because this is very important. Past performance does not equal future results. Just because Bitcoin has gone up the way it's gone up doesn't mean it's good. And if anything, it's had a lot of downturns too, Michael Saylor. So don't act like the downturns never happened. By the way, I made a lot of profit off the downturns. I've seriously made a lot of profit off the downturns. So I'm not worried about that. Because I swing traded the SBIT, which basically bets against Bitcoin because Bitcoin is clickcoin. As we all know, Bitcoin sucks. John Shaw doesn't even own his house. Dude, John Shaw, are you Brad Larkin? Is John Shaw Brad Larkin? That's the ultimate question we're trying to figure out here.
It's just no one ever done it before. But the theory isn't that complicated. I mean, what did Facebook pay for WhatsApp or for Instagram?
WhatsApp, yeah.
WhatsApp. I mean, think what did Google pay for YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not a complicated idea. You buy the monopoly, something that 1 billion people need, nobody can stop, that's in hyper growth mode, that'll sell itself to you cheap. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So that wasn't the problem. The problem was no public company had ever done this before.
Right.
And so first I have to convince the officers of the company. Then I have to convince the board of directors of the company. Right? Now, and that takes a while. And
I wonder how many of the... because when he first proposed to the board of directors, like, hey, we're going to buy Bitcoin. We're about ready to go bankrupt, so F it. Let's buy some Bitcoin, bro. How many... schlanguses did he have to you-know-what before that board of directors was like, okay, we're going down with the ship anyway, so we might as well get into this grifter currency. And little do they know, the grifter currency went up. He basically, Michael Saylor put his money on red, and it happened to hit red, and it doubled. That's what happened, man. It doubled on red. Tim Smith says, I bought that dip like it was a plastic tub of dill pickle cream. Oh, man. That's funny, dude. It's fun. I really do enjoy watching these videos of MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor talk to Grant Cardone.
Then, the logical thing is let's just go ahead. We're going to bet the company on this, buy $500 million worth. But, between the lawyers and the risk managers, everybody thought, well, that's too risky. So let's do some. I said, well, what about 400? I'll do a buyback. 400 million of Bitcoin, I'll buy back 100 million of stock. No. 350 million of Bitcoin, I'll buy back 150 million of stock. No. 300 million of Bitcoin, I'll buy back 200 million of stock. No. Okay, here's my best and final offer. 250 million of Bitcoin, and I will buy back $250 million of the stock in the open market, the tender offer. Okay.
So explain that to me.
So when we announced the deal, what we said was we're going to buy 250 million of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
and we're launching a tender offer. The stock was $120 a share. We'll buy you out at $140 a share if you don't like the idea. So we basically said...
Who funded that?
The company. The company had $500 million.
Got it. Okay.
And the company said...
Okay, Michael Saylor, you gotta be a little patient with Grant. He's not in your world completely, all right? I think I'm getting irritated with Michael Saylor getting frustrated with Grant, because I think Grant is honestly trying to ask questions. And yeah, is he not completely following along? Probably not. Is Michael Saylor explaining it in a way that makes a lot of sense? Not really. He is to some degree, but some of the verbiage, maybe Grant needs a little bit of reclarification. But there's nothing wrong with that. Michael Saylor is acting like this is a huge inconvenience and this is above him, and I don't like it, man.
We're going to buy back.
I'm a real estate guy. You got to remember, I'm a real estate guy, dude. It's like, to us, it's like, I got to see it, I got to touch it, I got to feel it. So you got to go slow with it.
I'm the CEO of...
Michael Donaldson says Garza does have some strange interests, but he does know his stuff. Yeah, for the most part. Like, I'm not saying I'm a financial advisor by any means, but I am very experienced in the world of investing. So I will say this. I think that it's crazy to me that they even agree, the company itself even agreed to Michael Saylor's demands. Now, obviously, Michael Saylor ended up being right and just saying, F you guys, F you, Good for him. Good. I'm glad his company didn't go bankrupt. I don't like seeing companies go bankrupt, but it's possible the company was shitty anyway. So maybe turning his BS company into a Bitcoin fund probably wasn't the worst idea in the world, because it was going to go bankrupt anyway. So you might as well do a Hail Mary.
Of a public company.
Okay.
And I want to do something very risky.
Got it.
But you're the outside shareholder, and you think I'm crazy.
Right.
I would too. If I was one of the shareholders, I'd be like, dude, you're effing insane. You're going to the roulette table, and you're putting it all on black or red or whatever, right? And to me, that's insane. It's levels of insanity that blow my mind.
So I say to you, I'm going to go bet the company on Bitcoin, but if you don't agree with me, I'll buy you out your shares.
Got it.
And so I'm going to offer you $140 a share.
$20 premium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to get off the ride.
How many people took you up on that?
So the way it worked is we announced the $250 million in Bitcoin. Then we had a 20-day tender period. We made a tender offer. We offered to buy up to $250 million. The stock traded up.
So Michael Donaldson says, Garza helped me start investing. Thanks to... So yeah, here's the thing. Like, even though I never gave any true financial advice, because this isn't financial advice in this channel, it's for education and entertainment purposes only, as I always like to tell everybody. But Michael Donaldson, no, I'm glad I was one of your encouraging guys to start investing. I hope that, even though I do talk about some complicated things on here, I do try to stick to the essentials. One of the main essentials is diversify. Honestly, I think diversification's a strength, not a weakness. Now, do you get the most returns over time through diversification? You get returns. You do keep up with inflation from what I've been able to tell. But yeah, I mean, hey, if you don't want to be maximally diversified, you don't have to be. It's one of my rules, but it doesn't have to be yours. There are many different ways to invest. You can have an S&P 500 index and call it good. You can invest in individual stocks, hold those. I do a mixture of everything. I hold individual stocks. I hold ETFs. I just buy and hold whatever looks good and is good. As long as it is intrinsically valuable. I think it's kind of the core of my investing strategies. Really, is what I'm investing in actually valuable? Does it have intrinsic worth? Is it naturally valuable? Value is more than perception. Trust me. Perception matters, I guess, but it matters really in the markets. Markets are perceptual value. When I measure something's value, I want to actually look at it and make the determination for myself on whether it's valuable or not. So I think that matters.
And then it traded above the $140 price, and everyone that didn't like it sold into the open market at north of 140.
Wow.
When the 20 days finished, we had $60 million worth of shares tendered. We paid off the $60 million of shareholders at 140. We had about $175 million of extra cash at that time. We turned around and bought Bitcoin with that. So the first deal was 250, and that second deal was after the tender offer. It was the extra 175 million, and then Bitcoin rallied, the stock rallied, ran through the roof, and the rest is history.
So Bitcoin was what price then? Do you remember? I'm sure you do.
When we did the first deal, we bought Bitcoin, and we bought it at like 11,800. Okay.
Now
He got it at 11,800. That's actually a really good deal at that time, because knowing what we know now, hindsight is 20/20, as we always like to say on this channel. Knowing what we know now, Bitcoin obviously went to 100,000, blah blah blah. He was able to save his company by gambling. I'm not saying you should gamble. I'm just saying Saylor got lucky, is what I'm trying to say, because that could have went any way. But you know what? I still think Bitcoin is ridiculous. I still don't believe in it. And we're gonna see that the higher Bitcoin gets, it definitely deserves to crash. That's for sure. And hey, I made a lot of money off of the crash. But Tim Smith says, I got 10x'd by Grant Cardone one night in the premium suite. Oh my God. Tim Smith says also it hurt in a good way. Oh, Tim. You're the man, Tim. You're the man. That's all I got to say, bro. Incredible.
You just banged the bell, right? You just hit it?
No, then immediately Bitcoin crashed down to 9,600 or something, and we lost $40 million in the next 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
And so
what's going on for you when that happens? Because that's what happens every time I buy it. It drops 20%.
It's an instructive story because the point is it was never easy. It will never be easy. And if you were buying expecting to get an immediate risk-free return in the next 2 weeks, you have the wrong attitude. So we bought it. The price crashed. We went through with the tender offer. We got 175 million, and we went and we bought the next tranche at 10,200 or 10,300. So we doubled down after the dip. And then it turns around, flies through 12,000, runs to all-time highs of 19,000. The stock 10x's.
Yeah.
All the stock options get exercised. We get another wall of money. We buy another $50 million worth.
Well, where's the wall of money come from? Explain the wall of money. It sounds sexy.
All the employees had stock options.
Explain the wall of money. It sounds sexy, says Grant Cardone. That's hilarious, dude. It's grifter. It's all grifter shit, though. This is everybody's future husband, by the way. For those of you who are heavily invested in Bitcoin, this is your future husband right here. That guy right there. Michael Saylor. Let's go.
And the stock options were... Sorry, let me just adjust my cushion.
No, please, help me.
The stock options are, struck at whatever, $190, $80. This is pre-split. The company eventually split 10-1. So if these numbers seem different to you, that's because we split it 10-1. But so the stock options are whatever, 80, 90, 100, 110. When the stock's trading between 90 and 120 during the lockdowns, the stock options are worthless. Mm-hmm. When we bought the Bitcoin and Bitcoin rallied, the stock went through the roof, rallied up to $200, then $300 a share, then $400 a share. When the stock rallies, all the employees exercise the stock options and the company gets an avalanche of money from stock option exercise.
Got it.
And so all of a
they're
sudden,
buying the shares at 110.
No, the employees are selling the shares.
They're selling the shares.
Well, they're selling the shares at 400, and they're exercising the option, which means they're buying the stock at 110, and the company's getting.
Got it. The company gets the 110.
Yeah, so the company generated a lot of stock option income because the stock took off, and so we bought another tranche of Bitcoin, and the volatility.
They just kept buying more Bitcoin. It's really maybe Michael Saylor's right. Maybe I'm just an idiot. I got to gamble. Just kidding. Gambling is stupid. Bitcoin is a gamble, though, by the way. And Bitcoin, I honestly just don't believe it can go up forever. And Bitcoin, I think, is at its breaking point. That's why it went. That's why it's down to like 80,000. Let's see. What's the current price of Bitcoin? What is the current price of Bitcoin here? Yeah, we'll look that up here in a second.
Volatility spiked, the liquidity spiked, the stock went through the roof, and by December of that year, we were able to do a $650 million convertible bond offering at 75 basis points interest cost. So basically free money.
Yeah.
So someone gave us $650 million of free money by December, and by February we did $1 billion deal at 10x. The strike price was $1,400 a share.
Deal?
Remember, the tender offer was $140 a share.
Right.
So we did a convertible deal at 10 times the price of the tender offer, maybe 6 months previous, or the tender offer was in September. So
can you hold that? Can you hold that thought? Where did you learn the financial engineering part? Like, I know you're an engineer by nature, okay? You're a very intelligent guy. You studied history, but
like I said, Michael Saylor is intelligent. Grant is right about that. I still don't understand why he's into Bitcoin. It makes zero sense to me.
where do you, every time I'm with you, dude, I'm just like, where did you start seeing this? Did you look a lot? Did you study?
I took the company public in 1998. And so I'd been a public company CEO for 22 years by the time we went into this.
You were how old?
Well, when I took the company public, I guess I was 33.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I started the company when I was 24.
Yeah, okay.
So I started when I was
wow.
in 89. I was 24, and then we were a private company from 89 till 98. And at 33, I took the company public, and then I lived through all sorts of.
You went the IPO route.
Yeah.
The route. What do you call that? The rite of passage.
I guess you could call
that's
it
what
that.
you told me it is.
Yeah, and I'd had experience as a private investor, and so I invested in all these big tech stocks, and I made fortune. I made a lot of money investing in Apple and Amazon, like 20x my money in all the big tech things, and I had a vivid recollection that I'd worked myself to death, like 3,000 hours a week for 10 years in my business, and I couldn't get ahead. We were basically banging our head against the wall against Microsoft. But 1 hour a month, I would invest in Google or Apple or something, and I was making a fortune, and it was easy. Mm-hmm. And I started thinking, if I had to do again, I think I'd take the company money and invest in the big tech stocks, because then the share.
No, that's actually a smart idea, because big tech, they create, like Google and Amazon. I mean, like, they provide products and services for people, right? Even investing in Microsoft, even though technically MicroStrategy is trying to compete with Microsoft, sometimes if your competition's publicly traded, why not buy shares of their company, I don't know what the rules are of that, by the way, so yeah. Are you allowed? Do you guys know how that works? Because I don't know if I'm right on that. If you are competing, like, I guess MicroStrategy considers themselves a competitor to Microsoft? Michael Saylor, could he have bought Microsoft stock? I don't know.
Shareholders would all get rich, because simply working harder to compete with Microsoft is not a way to get ahead, right? They're just too powerful. It's you cannot.
Yeah, that's why you have to. Here's the thing: Michael Saylor fell. He was in Redwater. If you guys have ever read the book Blue Ocean Strategy, Michael Saylor is actually a fine example of why you, as a small company, should never be in a space full of competition. And if you are, your product better be unique enough and desired enough. And you have to be good at marketing that too. Blue Ocean Strategy, though, teaches you to try to get in a space where there's no competition at all, or very little, I should say. Redwater Strategies is what MicroStrategies was doing at the time, because he was trying to compete with big tech behemoths. Sorry, small companies usually can't beat the big tech. And it's kind of stupid to try to beat big tech. I think you just want to be a company that makes good products, and the good products will eventually mean good profitability at the end of the day. That's really the key. So, for me personally, I like to invest a lot. I find that there's no real reason for me to start a company. I mean, I might start, I might develop apps and stuff, but I might do it on an independent basis. I don't know. Crazy. Absolutely crazy, man.
Competing against the monopoly of the world. So I had that experience. I had some experience trading swaps and currencies and other things. So I had an intellectual interest in these things. But really, necessity is the mother of invention, Grant. It's like when someone tells you, I got some bad news. It looks like you're going to die of something. You've got 12 weeks to live. You all of a sudden get religion and you start, you go online and start interrogating the AIs. You start arguing with the AI about whether this is right or wrong. And someone says, maybe you might want to change your diet. And the thing you dismiss for 50 years, you think, maybe I might want to change my diet.
Right.
So I think you get open-minded when you have this near-death experience. And what they say in the history of science, and one of my degrees at MIT was the history of science, they say the only time you ever see a paradigm shift is either when the old guard dies, like people that think they know how the world works just have to die.
Yeah. Okay. Michael Saylor, don't be saying that, man. You're somebody who thinks that you know how finance works. So there's a bit of an irony to that statement. Michael Saylor is just saying, Michael Saylor, don't say that about yourself, dude. You're one of those people who assumes how finance works. You think that Bitcoin is a good financial instrument. You gambled and you got lucky. Michael Saylor, that's all there is to it. You gambled, you got lucky on a product that has zero intrinsic value. Just admit it. You just admit that you gambled and you got lucky. You gambled on something that honestly doesn't deserve to be at the price it's at, but you got lucky.
Just have to get out of the way. Max Planck said science advances one funeral at a time, right? And then the other time when there's a paradigm shift, when people embrace a new idea radically, is during a war, right? War on COVID, World War II, someone's dropping a bomb on your head and you're an aircraft denier. You don't believe in air power. Right? You don't believe in nuclear power and they drop an atomic bomb on you? Okay, so a lot of things that people rejected. We literally court-martialed Billy Mitchell, right? Like the military court-martialed the guy that said, the Air Force is important and airplanes are important. Yeah. The Army court-martialed him, right? I mean, Pearl Harbor.
COVID was a war.
What?
You think COVID was a war? Or equivalent to a war?
It's absolutely a war.
Yeah.
There are 2 wars going on.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe 3, right? There's a war in COVID, technically, right? That biological war. There's a cultural war, right? There's a cultural war. The war when we shut down every small, mid-sized business and bankrupted gym owners and restaurants.
I do think I've had enough Michael Saylor for the night. All right, so we'll finish off the night by kind of just, talking about whatever at this point, but damn, dude. Damn. There's only so much Michael Saylor I can handle, if we're gonna be honest. And, my God. Michael Saylor is by far the greatest grifter of all time. Hold on. Gotta take out my wallet real quick. Oh.
Laugh out loud.
Hey, thank you for the sub. I appreciate the subscribe. Really appreciate it big time. Thank you. Thank you. Michael Donaldson says, wash your face. Grant and Michael pumping and dump. Dude, yeah, here's the thing. Michael Saylor is a great pump and dump artist. I guess one of the things I kind of admire about Michael Saylor is that he's willing to keep the grift alive. I wish I had that ability. I wish there's a part of me that wishes I had that ability to want to look into a grift, and then I can't. A part of me has grifter blood in me. I feel like there's a little bit of a grifter in all of us. But at the same time, it's like, dude, stop it. Stop it, man. Oh, Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor, you're boning me. You're boning me, bro. Is Trump on the Epstein list? I don't know. Is his name on there probably quite a few times? Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. Look, I think he knew Epstein for a certain amount of time, and then he realized that Epstein was a total creep. I think Epstein probably hid a lot of his creepy tendencies from Trump. Possibly. I'm still a Trump fan. I still think... I will say if he vetoes this bill to declassify the files, I'm going to be very sad about that. In fact, he'll lose my support. I will say the one thing that'll force me to lose support is if he vetoes this, because that's, we clearly all want this. We want the declassification of those files. We want to see them. We want to know the truth. We want the truth. Let's get the truth out. Give me a few moments, everybody. He signed the bill? Very good, very good. Well, we can't wait to see those. I guess it's supposedly going to be available in PDF format, which is cool. Whew. A little cold outside, just to let everybody know. All right. Let's ride. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Tap the subscribe button and tap the like button. I greatly appreciate it, everybody. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Jelly Beans. Michael Donaldson says it's cold where he's at. Heck yeah. Jelly Beans, make sure you guys subscribe to Jelly Beans for sending us a 100 for the 2 jewels. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, my brony brother. He signed the bill to release the Epstein files, then announced his meeting with Zoran Mamdani. What? Did he really? Oh, okay. Hell yeah. Jelly Beans sent a GG. Thank you for the GG. Make sure you guys subscribe to Jelly Beans, dude. You got it, Jelly Beans. I'm more than happy. Hey, we got to get everybody to subscribe to Jelly Beans. Let's go. Yeah, so we just reacted to Michael Saylor videos. Michael Saylor talking to Grant Cardone. I mean, I interrupted quite a bit. Jelly Beans just sent a high five for 100 jewels. Thank you so much, Jelly Beans. I appreciate you, my brony brother. Hell yeah, dude. Guys, subscribe to Jelly Beans. Dude, Jelly Beans is basically like, I always feel like a sugar baby on this show. I love it, and I feel like a sugar baby. I get high fives. I get Jelly Beans. Let's give my boy Jelly Beans a shout out. Heyo, subscribe to Jelly Beans, everybody. Hell yeah. We highlight gifts on this channel, man. We highlight those gifts. We highlight those super chats, man. Michael Donaldson says, List, Trump is the GOAT. That's how I found Garza's channel back during the election. So Trump comes out quite often. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, dude. Hey, there is more to life than Trump. I'm just a Trump fanboy, though. Think Like a Billionaire, by the way, might be one of the most underrated audiobooks of all time. I was talking to my boys about this earlier. I was a fan of Trump well before he became president. I thought he was entertaining. I still think he's entertaining. I think he's a fountain of knowledge when it comes to wealth building. When it comes to investing, he's actually a fairly good investor. Like, I was shocked the more I studied about him. He's actually a really good investor. The problem with the news is they tend to make him seem like he's an incompetent investor. This is one of the reasons I don't trust the news, because the things I've looked up about him, even before everybody started hating him, by the way, the only reason people started hating him, just to let everybody know, was because he ran for president. People loved him. Rappers loved him. Everybody loved him. And then when he turned on the Democrats by saying that the Democrats are crazy, isn't it interesting how everybody started hating him suddenly? He was the devil. Ugh. Stop it. Look, Donald Trump's the man. I love him. I think he's great. You know, if you don't like it, sorry. Michael Donaldson says, I only talk about Trump on Garza's live streams. I'm busy during the rest of my life. I work on like most. Jelly Beans sent another floating heart. Thank you, Jelly Beans. I appreciate you, my brony brother. Hell yeah. Boop, boop, boop. Tim Smith says, I worship Liz. Tim Smith has got it. I think Tim Smith is trying to get a wife. Hell yeah, I like that. Get it, dude. Get it, Tim. I do work by the list, by the way. I do work, just to let you know. I don't just do this show. I want to let you know. I don't just do this show. If anything, you could say that I work too much, is what you can say. That's true. Because when I'm not doing this show, I'm also doing other things, right? I'm putting in the effort, man. I'm always putting in the effort. Jelly Beans sent flowers for 30 joules. Thank you for the flowers. I appreciate it. I am bringing you... I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm bringing you flowers. Thank you so much. Jelly Bean says, well, I said I will be your sugar mama. You guys are all my sugar daddies and sugar mamas at this point. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, everybody's a sugar daddy and a sugar mommy. Well, I appreciate you all. I do find it funny when people act like I don't work. Like, look, I don't have traditional jobs by any means. I'm very much a freelancer at the end of the day. But, you know, I'm like, when I say I'm working, like, I'm doing things that make me money, right? Not, you know, like, am I making a ton of money? No. If anything, it's pretty minimal. Thank you, Jelly Beans, for reminding everybody to like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Jelly Beans, thank you for the hundo again. Make sure you guys subscribe to Jelly Beans. We really appreciate you, Jelly Beans, on this channel. Feel free to, by the way, guys, feel free to send whatever virtual gifts you want. I love the fact that these virtual gifts exist. I think it's great. I think you guys are very fantastic people for even sending these to me, man. This is super cool. I'm like all about it, man. So you guys, we're at 6,003. We're at 6,396 subscribers. We're only 4 subscribers away from reaching the 6,400 mark. We're at 6,396. 4 more subscribers, by the way. Hit the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. Tap that subscribe button, right? After you tap the subscribe button, make sure you also hit the like button. We need the likes. We need the subscribes. We're really pushing the channel to a new level, right? We're getting there. So I appreciate all the subscribes. I appreciate all the likes. I also appreciate all the virtual gifts, by the way. And thank you, Jelly Beans, for the flowers. You can buy me flowers. For 30 joules, man. The joules. Thank you, Jelly Beans, for the 30 for the flowers for the 30 joules. I greatly appreciate it, my brony brother, my brony sister, whatever you may be. I don't know. I can't tell who anybody is. Considering you called me Michael Donaldson's having a good time in the chat. Love you, Michael Donaldson. You're the man. Jelly Beans sent a happy poop, yum yum, happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop, yum yum, happy poop, yum yum, happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop, yum yum, happy poop, yum yum, happy poop. Thank you for the 100 for the 2 joules, by the way. But happy poop, yum yum, happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop, yum yum, happy poop, yum yum, happy poop, yum yum. We love the happy poop gifts right here, right now. Everybody get down, everybody shout. Thank you guys, though. I greatly appreciate it. And also, we're almost, like I said, we're almost to 6,400 subscribers. In fact, we're 3 subscribers away from hitting 6,400. 3 subscribers away. So please make sure that you guys, if you're not subscribed, tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It really does help the channel grow. And if you can, tap the like button as well. Jelly Beans sent another 100 for 2 jewels. I appreciate that, Jelly Beans. Woo woo! Give another shout out to Jelly Beans. Make sure you guys subscribe to him. Well, my finger might smell a little bit like the poo-poo. Does anybody got any more happy poop yum yums? Happy poop, happy poop, happy poop yum yum. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop, happy poop, happy poop yum yum. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop yum yum. Happy poop, happy poop, happy poop yum yum. Jelly Beans, happy poop, yum yum. Thank you for the happy poop, yum yum. I just got a happy poop from Jelly Beans bum, yum 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 yum. Yum yum. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, my Bruni brother. Damn, the connection's kind of bowling out, dude. So I gotta admit, I'm having a lot of dropped frames. I notice when it rains very excessively in this area, I tend to get a lot of dropped frames. I think it's because somehow the signal just gets so affected. It's unfortunate. Thank you, Jelly Beans. I appreciate the happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop, happy poop, happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop, happy poop, happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop, happy poop, happy poop, 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 poop. Happy poop, yum yum. Happy poop, yum yum. Thank you, though, my brony brother. I really greatly appreciate it. By the way, I'm going to probably do it at some point tomorrow, maybe 1 or 2 episodes of The Secret Show. It's going to probably be a 15-minute show. I'm going to kind of try to plan that one out a little bit. But like I said, The Secret Show is an exclusive show for members only. So if you want to become a member, lowest you could pay is 99 cents a month. If you want to pay a little bit more, that's okay too. But later, Mr. Donaldson. I'm sorry, Liz is trash talking you, man. Anyway, love you, Mr. Donaldson. You're the man. And I'm by the way, Mr. Donaldson, I'm very thankful for you, by the way. Ooh, XTIMID is sending 100s for 2 jewel. Oh, whoa. Is XTIMID going to break the record? Oh, my goodness. He's going to break, because the 100 record, by the way, was done, I think, if I remember correctly, 1,000 times. 1,000. So can XTIMID beat the record? I think we're witnessing record breaking here. Still going, dude. Still going. Oh my goodness, my man is still going. He's still comboing. What? My man's breaking records at this point. You can't stop the man. You just can't stop him, man. Oh man. I can't remember who broke the record. I think it was FSX who did like 1,000 times. Like they went 1,000 times on the hundos. I was so crazed out. I was like, dude, how did you pull that off? Jelly Beans went for a combo of 4 for the hundos. Hell yeah, I appreciate that. And my boy Mo, I'm not gonna say his last name. Comboed for dual jewel. I appreciate this, you guys. This is incredible. I love it when people do these combos, man. This is incredible. Yeah, so XTIMD, yeah, it almost crashed the stream, dude. That's the funniest part about those is when people do those excessively. I wouldn't say it crashed the stream. It crashed the browser for a second, though. The browser itself crashed. The Streamlabs OBS did not crash, though. That was the best part about it. At least Streamlabs was still up. I was like, thank goodness. Holy crap, man. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, though, in the upper right-hand corner. More subscribers we get, the better. But like I said, tap the subscribe button in the upper... Sorry. Tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. That'll at least allow us to spread the channel throughout the masses, and we'll be everywhere at once. This is incredible, man. I appreciate you guys. People are talking about Smurfs finishing on my face. Oh my god. I love it, man. I love it, my brony brothers. Oh man. It's so good. Dude, you guys are so sexy. Everybody on here is so sexy. Yeah, it seems like we're dropping a lot of frames. FSX is saying, what about Smurfs? FSX, what's up? By the way, you were the one, I think, who broke the 100 gift combo last time, if I remember correctly. So FSX, you're a stud, by the way. You're a stud. Appreciate that. Where am I from? I'm just going to say the coast of Oregon. How does that sound? I like to keep my location kind of private, but not too private. It's all right. I do got some pretty eyes, don't I? I got sexy eyes. So I've been trying to digitally minimalize. Like what I'm doing is I'm trying to get rid of as many apps as I can. Because I feel like I'm digitally bloated. Yeah, I did 400 or 500 going through the police academy at the moment. I'm rarely on anymore, missing the con. Hey, dude, and hey, look, we get it. Everybody gets busy, FSX. Don't even sweat it. You know, the main thing I always want to talk about is investing in general. Investing is fun. I'm into it. It gets me going. It gets me frisky. Frisky are we? But no, I get frisky as hell because I love investing. I get stimulated, and I'm going to say a little sexually about it. I get a little sexually stimulated from investing. And that's just how I am, man. I believe investing is very important at the end of the day, and the more you invest, I think the better you'll feel about yourself. I mean, it's maybe a little bit of an exaggeration, but give me 1 second, though. All around the world, statues crumble for me. Who knows how long I love you? Everywhere I know, be everywhere I go, people stop and they see 25 years old. Oh, God rest your soul. Mercy, I just want to fly. I'm not doing Tabasco sauce on my forehead, dude. No way. No way, John. I ain't doing that, bro. You're a pink brony, bro. By the way, we're at 6,397 subs. I can't believe it. I can't believe it, my man. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, though. If you guys can, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It does help quite a bit. We're really trying to expand the reach, the audience, and the more people who subscribe, it does push the channel out to more people. So more subscribers equals more people I can annoy. I like annoying people. I'm an annoying guy. Let's face it, I'm an annoying dude. Either people love me or they hate me. There's really not a lot of in between. Having said that, though, stay sexy, my friend. Imagine yeah, my dad watches this channel. I mean, he thinks it's gay. He thinks what I'm doing is gay. But that's okay. I like what I'm doing, dude. I like being a little gay online. Makes me feel special. It makes me feel sexy. Oh, I gotta charge my phone a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a shower in a few. I'm a little bit tired. I want to try to get up kind of early to do a bit of a morning show, and then I'm gonna do a couple little things tomorrow. How much? I remember there being like a storage. So 53% of my storage is used. What can I get rid of? I do have a lot of images on here, I realized, so let me see. Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of a lot of the extra stuff here. Yeti. Hmm. Sorry, you guys. I'm distracted. I'm trying to basically free up space on my phono. Oh, the squeakers. She's so cute. Such cute little cats. I love those cats.
Laugh out loud.
There we go. Okay. So I moved all that to the trash. Hey, thank you, the blood farter. I appreciate it for the 56 cents, brother. I appreciate that big time. I love it. Sorry, I was yeah, I'm just going through my phone storage, trying to get rid of a lot of excess, stuff on there, and oh yeah. But thank you, the blood farter, for the donation. I appreciate it big time, my Bruni brother, keeping us alive. And also, you guys, we're almost to 6,400 subscribers. So currently, we're sitting pretty at 6,400 subs. Well, sorry, 6,397. If you guys hit the subscribe button, that does help us get us closer to our goal, get us closer to the goal of 6,400. So anything you guys can do to help us get to that point, it means a lot to us. This show has been growing. Let's face it. The show's gotten huge. And we're still strongman personal finance fans at the end of the day, too. That's what this show's about. We love our boy Strongman. Oh, hold on. Oh. The blood farter says it's gonna add up. Did any more work on your Python? So I've done a little bit here and there. I got PyCharm on my computer, which I'm pretty stoked about. Incredible, man. No, I think Python's a fantastic programming language. The more I use it, the more I get used to it, the more I appreciate it. I love its ease. It's a lot easier when it comes to syntax. It's not as strict. A lot of programming languages are pretty strict. I will admit this is more of an interpreted language, obviously. So it's a little more high level. It's not as low level. When I say low level, high level, I mean like low level is like you're really getting into the nitty gritty more than anything. I love Python though. It makes software. It honestly makes any sort of development of any software, any apps, whatever you're developing. It makes your life a lot easier. So I will say Python's very, very good. Drinking beers. I'm not even going to read that comment. But hey, the blood farter, I do want to say thank you for that super chat, by the way. I'm not going to be online too much longer tonight. I do got to go take a shower, and then I'm going to read a book and go to bed. Let's see. I gotta shut off all my alarms too. The reason I'm trying to make sure I got free space. Let's see. I do want to ask ChatGPT a question, like how much free space should I have on my phone to make sure it's... How much free space should I have on my phone to ensure proper functioning? Let's see. What other apps should I get rid of? Because really, I just want to keep the essentials. I don't want to keep anything too crazy or excessive. There's probably a lot of apps I have on here that I probably could do without. And that's the thing about digital minimalism is a big deal to me. Having not uninstall big unused apps, games, and social apps, TikTok, Instagram, yeah. Oh, I got plenty of space free on my phone. Because, yeah, it's saying about 15 to 20% of total space free. Oh, yeah, I got plenty of space. I got way more space than that even free. But I like to have it as free as possible. So... I'll have to figure something out with that. But either way, I mean, I got a lot of space on my phone, which is nice. I got like 53% of my phone storage is taken up, which is fantastic. I got to still see if I could reduce it a little bit. Actually, there is a couple apps that I think I can get rid of right now, if I really look at it. Apps that probably just take up, just apps I don't even need. Apps, let's see. Don't really need Vivaldi at this point, so I want to clear. I like Vivaldi. I like it on my desktop, but the Android app itself really doesn't do anything for me. It's kind of, it's hit or miss. I don't really need Google Docs on my phone. I like Excel. I think Excel is fine. Sorry, not Excel, but Google Sheets is pretty cool. But outside of it, though, I'm like, eh. Google Docs, I really don't need too much. I mean, I got a few apps on here that I'm like, do I really need this? Do I really need this? Yeah. Do I need this? Still trying to figure out a couple things, man. Am I a new member? Do I got blue balls? Everybody's asking if I got blue balls. What the hell? I don't know why everybody's asking if I got blue balls. What's up with that, bro? What is up with everybody asking me if I got blue balls? Come on, man. Come on, man. What are you guys saying? What are you doing? What are you doing here? It's inappropriate. Inappropriate. Yeah, I mean, Safeway app's kind of handy. Light mobile, I don't really need that anymore. Well, thank you, Sam. Sam Bram says, yo, Garza's in the house. How are you, brother? Doing really well, man. Thank you for asking. I'm feeling good, man. Feeling good. Just working my butt off, trying to get this operation underway. Getting rocking and rolling, man. Doing a little digital minimalism right now. Trying to lessen my phone. Trying to get rid of a lot of excess apps and stuff like that. I find that doing a little bit of digital minimalism every now and then is pretty good. iHerb is good. I got an account on there, so I'll keep that on there. Well, I mean, as far as it goes, I think I've kind of got rid of everything I want to get rid of. I believe. I look a little blue. Sam says, Madeline, you look... See, Madeline, you look... Oh, jeez. Everybody's... Sam looks like Sam is hitting on people in the chat. Hey, do what you gotta do, Sam. You do your thing, man. That's so funny. Kicking butt today, you guys. Kicking butt. There's a lot of interesting little, It's tough. I would say, streaming is never really a full-time job until you start having a certain subscriber amount. So nonstop entertainment, let me think of a way I can't really give you any true advice on this, but I can let you know what I've been doing. I've just been making content that is in my wheelhouse. Is it within my realm of understanding? And investing is within my realm of understanding. So I like to try to encourage people to invest. But anyway, I'm not going to go off into that. So what do you do best? Like, what do you know best? What do you like to talk about? Do you feel like you could impart some wisdom? Also, if you need to get some inspiration, look towards other formats, other shows. Look at different vertical lives. Honestly, doing vertical live videos has been the best thing for me. I don't do any horizontal ones because unfortunately, that's not where the eyeballs are at. The eyeballs are here on the vertical lives. That's the thing. So that would probably be probably the best wisdom I could give you. I'm sorry, Sam. Sam got denied, dude. Let's see, you play Fortnite usually and love to show my day-to-day. I mean, yeah, it just depends on, I don't know what kind of, let's see. Well, I mean, you could do more content based on Fortnite if you want to. That's good. You could stream, but you gotta, definitely do some research when you can. Take about 30 minutes to an hour to research, good streaming techniques. Do vertical live videos. Vertical live videos, I'm telling you, are amazing because it's where the eyeballs are at. Your main focus should be where are the eyeballs at? Good. How can I make it to where the algorithm points to me? That matters. So yeah, it's just, I hope that helps. I mean, look, I kind of got to where I'm at. I wouldn't say by accident. I put a lot of work into this. I did a lot of studying. I made sure that I was the right person at the right time, basically. But you got to be the right person at the right time on the right medium. And I feel like I'm all three of those. I think I made all three of those pretty easily. So just keep on investing in yourself, invest in who you are, be who you are. Also, you guys, make sure that you guys hit the subscribe button right here. Hit that subscribe button right in the upper right-hand corner. It does help the channel grow, and it's incredible, man. So yeah, like I said, we're almost to 6,400. I just wanted to end the stream getting to that marker. I don't know if we will. We're two subscribers away from hitting 6,400, which is crazy. So make sure you guys, 6,399. I take that back. We're only one subscriber away from hitting 6,400. Once again, we are one subscriber away. One more subscriber away from hitting 6,400, man. Hey, Sam, you got it. I thank you for the sub, Nonstop Entertainment. Like I said, live streaming does the trick. So if you're doing vertical lives are great. There's a lot of resources out there on Google. So if you look on Google, simply typing in how do I make really good vertical live content on YouTube. Once again, I'm going to repeat that. How do I make great vertical live content on YouTube? The AI mode on Google can point you in the right direction, probably to a few articles that may even help you out. So while I can't give you a full-length tutorial on this, I can point you to the direction where the information's at. Take in the information, take notes. I say take notes, dude. Taking notes is really, really handy. But also, make the time if you can. If you have a little bit of downtime, chill out, sit down, watch a YouTube video on, how to do live videos properly, how to do YouTube better, how many hashtags should you use, how should you do your titles. Thumbnails are not as important if you're doing live streaming. They're important to some degree, don't get me wrong. But if you're doing vertical lives like I'm doing it, keep going. I think vertical lives are great. Vertical lives rock, man. Oh, we're at 6,400 subscribers already. We just hit the marker. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. 6,400 subscribers right here, right now. There is no other place that I want to be. But I really do want to say thank you, guys. Incredible, man. Incredible. Sam Bram is asking, what's the difference between vertical lives and horizontal lives? I'll answer each of these questions one at a time real quick. So the difference between vertical lives and horizontal lives is really just, honestly, it's portrait versus landscape format. So for example, the easiest way to describe it would be with my phone. So when you're looking at the phone like this, it's vertical live, right? It's a vertical live, right? In this format. If I'm looking at it like this, I'm looking at it in the vertical format. I'm looking at it in the portrait mode, right? This is the portrait mode. This is the landscape mode. If I'm looking at my phone like this is the landscape mode, landscape view. This is vertical view. This is portrait view. When I'm looking at my phone, I'm looking at it in the portrait style view, right? Which is, like I said, the vertical lives. Horizontal lives. If I'm looking at horizontal lives, I'm looking at them like this. I could look at them like this, but usually I'm looking at them like this. Does that make a little more sense? How long did it take to reach 6,000 subscribers? I would probably say, how long did it take? Because once I hit 4,000, it only took me a couple months to get to 5,000. And probably it only took me about roughly a month to get to 6,000. And then now, I mean, to get to 6,400 didn't take long at all. Well, I'll take that back. Actually, getting to 6,400 did take about roughly a month as well. So I'm probably a little bit off on the time frames, but it's interesting. Yeah, here's the thing. The reason I chose vertical lives instead of horizontal lives is because everybody's on TikTok holding their phone like this, and everybody's watching lives like this. It's cool. I love it. Well, you guys, we hit the 6,400 subscriber threshold. I can't believe it, to be honest. I mean, I can believe it. I knew it would happen. I just wasn't sure if it was going to happen tonight. But we hit we hit 6,400 subscribers tonight. And I take that back. Somebody unsubscribed. How rude is that? It looks like somebody just hit the unsub button. They probably subscribed and then unsubscribed, which is typical. But yeah, we're at 6,399 subscribers. We did just hit 6,400, which is an all-time high on subs. But I'm sure that we'll get another subscriber here soon enough to hit back to the 6,400 marker. So make sure that you guys tap the subscribe button right here. Tap that subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It helps the channel grow. We're at 6,399. We just had one person unsubscribe. Unfortunately. But, whatever. Honestly, I'm just going to say I'm at 6,400 because that's pretty much where we're at. So 6,400 subscribers. We hit the plateau. And I want to thank you. Obviously, there's still more growth to happen on this channel. And I'm just excited. And, we're that close to 7,000. And then, who knows, from 7,000 to 8,000 to 8,000 to 9,000 to 10,000. It's just exponential growth from here. And I'm thankful. Before I hop in the shower, I'm going to clean off my face with these wipes that I got from Ross. Clean these bad boys off. If I can. I'm not going to say my exact age. Oh, you want me to leave the chat up while I take a shower? I might. I don't know. I think I'm just going to kind of end it here in just a second. The live stream. I think I'm going to probably end it here in a few. Just because I do need to get some sleep, and the shower is going to be fairly quick, and by the time I'm out, I'm pretty much going to be hitting the hay. But I figured right before I take a shower, I might as well get this off my face. Garza Mill, what did you do with Papa Smurf? Poor Papa Smurf. He never had a chance. I do look a little different, don't I? This is me without the blue stuff. It's pretty fun, man. I like wearing the blue. Make sure you guys like the stream and subscribe to the channel, though. I greatly appreciate it. The more subs we have, the better. More likes we have, the better, too. It does help the channel grow in more ways than one. So make sure you guys, once again, hit the subscribe button right here. Oh, yeah. Hit that subscribe. And also, if you can, like the stream, too. Liking the stream helps. Subscribing to the stream. Subscribing to the channel and helps more. So we're at 6,399 subs. I want to thank every single person who took the time to hit the subscribe button. It does help. And I'm just tired, man. Anyway, thank you, Sam. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you to Nonstop Entertainment for asking the questions. Thank you to Tim Smith, my home dog, the GOAT. We gotta get Tim Smith on sometime soon. When I say on, I mean like I gotta get him on like a Streamlabs connection or something. It's been a while since we've had him as a guest, and we'll have to get that going sometime soon. All right, you guys. Any last super chats? Any last gifts, or just any last general chats? Anybody? They see me gooning, they hating. I'll try not to dance, and I don't dance in the shower. All right, well, I appreciate it, you guys. Just have an incredible night. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. Make sure you guys tap the like button as well. It does help us in the algo. It helps us in general on both of those fronts. Have an incredible night, and we'll see you guys in the next stream.